Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream here, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. It is Thursday night. Thursday evening, Donald Trump saying maybe, just maybe, we can negotiate something with Iran, delaying any answer to potentially striking Fordo. And it's now been reported the U.S. thinks they're going to create a nuclear bomb. They said if the U.S. strikes Fordo, I just saw that come in. So we'll see what happens. I'll play some clips, and we will go from there. But 13 days. It's not been 13 days. I think we're exaggerating it. Because think about it. I started it on a Sunday, and then 7, 8, 9. I think this is 11. This is 12, I think. I think it's 12. Maybe 11 or 12. But also, yes, guys, I have my pinned Discord link in the description, not in the description, but it's pinned as a message, so you can see that if you want to. And I'll get rid of it because I know people don't really like when stuff is pinned because it makes the chat harder to read or whatever. But if you want to join my Discord, you can join it right there. Yeah, my Discord is it's pretty active, honestly, even with after the election and everything like that. What's up, everyone? How was the movie? No, the movie's tomorrow. If I stream tomorrow, it would have to be at like 10:30, but I'll talk about it later. You got banned from my Discord for saying Jews didn't. Well, I mean, look, you'd have to talk to my moderators. You'd have to talk to my moderators about that. They're the ones that operate that. I don't operate that. I don't operate bans on Discord. They're normally forgiving and but the thing is when it gets to a certain point, I mean, if you push it and if you're obnoxious and stuff, then they're going to have to get rid of you. It's just like my chat. I let people do stuff, I let them troll, but then it just gets annoying and it's just like, all right, come on. Did you see Will Smith's new song, Pretty Girls? I think I saw like a clip from that. It was real strange, if that's the thing you're talking about. Why would Iran work with Trump after he boasted about killing their scientists? I agree 100%. It doesn't seem like how it doesn't seem realistic that these negotiations can come to a proper resolution in the form of a deal. I don't see how that can happen. I really don't. It's been severed by Israel. But I mean, the thing is maybe Iran is going to get bombed to shit if they don't make an agreement. That's the thing that they have to understand. It's pretty interesting how ever since Elon put out the Epstein file rumor, Trump basically did a 180 on standing up to Israel. Well, I think that was more so Elon. Elon's on drugs and he gets really bullheaded. I don't think that was necessarily a threat within Trump. Because again, I've discussed the Epstein thing many a times. I think the Democrats would have slipped something on if there's actually really bad stuff on Trump. Because you're saying what Israel has the stuff on Trump and they're blackmailing him into doing this. But I mean, how would Elon have any effect onto that? It seems like Elon is just irrational at times and just kind of does random things. That's kind of how I read it. BB saying what he said, right? Well, BB now says, you see, they've changed it. He says, "Oh, we can accomplish our goals without the United States." They think they're saying they can accomplish their goals solo, which they cannot. If we're talking about destroying the enrichment sites, they would need the U.S. heavy bombers. Your Discord mods disagree with you on 9/11. Well, I mean, I think there were a number of parties that knew about 9/11 and knew it was going to happen. I don't. It's not even a specific country in general. It's a number of countries. It's a number of parties. If you look at some of the things that happened before 9/11, but I mean, I don't ask them what their opinions are on it. Check the new Truth from Trump. All right, let's see if we can. I really should just get Truth Social at this point, just so I can see what Trump. Just so I can get an up to the minute updates on Trump. Oh boy, FBI increased domestic surveillance amid fears of Hezbollah sleeper cells operating in the U.S. Yep. Kash Patel increases domestic surveillance. Here's the domestic incident while these negotiations are going to be happening. What is this?
If they're a weak country that's on its knees.
Because
I'm trying to keep track.
They're trying to develop... Be a little less snarky.
I know, you're right. Okay. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry.
Discovered is that if you scrape the creek bed, it's like chemical is coming out of the ground. Can you come here? And let me just show this to people. I don't know if you're going to see this in the camera, but watch this. Just see that chemical pop discovered.
blue sky. Yeah, East Palestine. They talked about that today. It's interesting that came up. How is the dating game? The dating game is terrible. The dating game is terrible. Trump giving Iran 2 more weeks and Bibi saying they don't need him is a clear sign he wants diplomacy. I know, that was what I was thinking. I was saying those compound things back to back. I was thinking about it. Those back to back, that's good news. But I mean, really, Bibi can say whatever he wants in terms of publicly. I mean, he has no reason to tell anyone the truth. But maybe he's toning down expectations for Israel by saying that. Or maybe he's just trying to make Trump feel more comfortable. I don't know. By not trying to pressure Trump into action. Yeah, Ted Cruz got destroyed, but there was a moment. I got it right here, dude. You can hear the laugh. The laugh is at the end of this. Listen to this.
Material effect that helped the United States. Russia is backstopped by China, and I recommend that you go there and see it. It is way nicer than Washington D.C. Way nicer.
I don't understand. For some reason, you are really invested in defending Russia, and I don't get that. I'm not attacking you with that. I'm genuinely, like, I don't get why you're so passionate about defending Russia.
Material effect that helped the United States.
The laugh. Cruz is like, you're so obsessed with defending Russia. Cruz was outraged that he was defending Russia. Remember the AI girlfriend? Remember what it said about the clouds? You put on a show, honey, but the clouds had other plans. That was insane, that AI girlfriend, that thing yesterday. You did your job, honey. It was the clouds that had other plans. He was trying to see it through a fucking telescope. I guess it was cloudy. Yeah, the Dodgers. Yeah, we'll take a look at some of these posts. The Dodgers, dude, they should be a sanctuary stadium. They should be a sanctuary venue. They should have to accept. They should be a homeless encampment. Dodger Stadium becomes a homeless encampment. Trump on Juneteenth. I didn't even think you got off for this. Apparently, everybody or most people get off for Juneteenth. Trump angry about it. Too many non-working holidays in America. Too many non-working holidays in America is costing the country billions of dollars to keep all of these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every working day of the year. Yeah, no, Trump is right here with Juneteenth and how this was placated, and this came in with all the BLM stuff, I think, if I remember correctly. But I didn't even know it. It's like it comes up on it, and people are like, no, this is actually a holiday. The thing is, you know, with my work schedule and just, we're used to having the summers off anyway, so I never really think about, I mean, I do work every day anyways, but just even in general, I never think about the summers really in terms of work. And yeah, everyone's like, everyone had off today. I'm like, you're kidding. You truly believe U.S. and Russia should join forces? Yeah, but how would that work with, how would that work when liberals get in? You think they would? You think if we spur NATO and join Russia, you think liberals are going to keep that? Liberals will go right back to Europe or to the EU countries if we did something like that. I don't even know how, but I agree with you. I think we need to have a more cordial relationship with Russia, especially since we're getting ready to take over Greenland. We understand that, the territorial acquisition aspect of it, but their situation is different because Europe is such a landmine for a hot war just because of all those countries and how close they're located. Got to stay off, work on a base. You agree 100%? Yeah, a lot of people are pissed off about this. Absolutely. Trump is now the first president in 116 years to not be invited to the NAACP, to their convention. It would be a waste of time and energy to give a platform to fascism. Oh. How will he ever recover? Yeah, there's a big story now. Kash Patel saying he's increased efforts to monitor domestic terror sleeper cells. This coming right after Trump says we're negotiating for a week or two. You've got to wonder, what if something happens and Trump's like, my hands are tied, I have to be forced to go because something happens domestically. You've got to wonder. You wish you had today off, you worked full 9 to 5. I think it's dependent on jobs, but like all the federal jobs are off. If you got like a government job, I think it's all off. Although I don't know, was there mail today? I think mail, there probably wasn't mail today if it's a holiday or whatever. What has been with all the rain is crazy. We had a crazy rain today again. And now the rain's going to go away after really the rain's done. Maybe on Saturday there might be some rain, and then it's going to be 95 degrees all next week. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be 95 degrees and we get humidity here. So it's just, you don't want to be outside for too long. It's just not good. Did you lose power? No, I didn't lose power. I normally don't lose power, but I definitely have dealt with the Wi-Fi issue. Whenever it rains, there seems to be the Wi-Fi to where it'll come in and come out. I don't know. I've had issues with Wi-Fi the last like 4 streams now. Like it'll drop midway through, pretty much guaranteed, and then it'll come back like 15 seconds later. No mail. So they can call him fascist with no consequences. Trump is the worst fascist in the world, right? I mean, Trump should be like, well, okay, if I'm so fascist, your convention's been shut down. It's a federal order. Thoughts on Bannon with Trump today? Yeah, I saw that. That's big for Bannon to have a lunch with Trump. It's normalizing Bannon more within the party. Yeah, Bannon will probably go. I don't think Bannon's going to win or anything, but he'll probably go for a run in 2028 to try and be like the MAGA candidate. But it's not going to matter because, Trump will support Vance or his son, but probably Vance. Did you see Elon making a bank on X? Well, isn't Elon doing the X payments? He said, he originally came out and said he wanted it to be an everything app. He said that right after he bought it. So it's going to have all the different functionality, I would imagine. If you ever visit Seattle, we got to hang out. Yeah, Seattle is, I hear Seattle is really dry in the summers. But Seattle obviously is a liberal hub, but I wouldn't mind visiting places. You go there for a week or so. It's not be an interesting place to visit. Did Bannon look homeless? I don't know. Did they show photos? Trump approves storm damage money for North Carolina, Tennessee, Bama, and Arkansas. What is this? Rogue states Russia and Iran attempting to destroy MAGA movement with disinformation, bot army. Well, there's always going to be bots. There's always going to be bots on social media. You just got to deal with it. Another federal judge issue. Obama judge ruled that Trump and Sean Duffy cannot withhold transportation funding from cities who refuse to cooperate with enforcement of immigration law. This is always going to be problems with these judges that were appointed by liberals. Even some previous first-term Trump judges have had issues. First partner. God, what is with these people? Why DeSantis is a lovely family too? Why do they cosplay and do this shit? My first partner, just so stupid. Whatever happened to Mike Pence? Yeah, Mike Pence is politically irrelevant. He's been politically irrelevant since January 6, 2021. Well, he's been politically irrelevant really since Trump lost in 2020. Judges cannot act as presidents. They have too much power. Yeah, but it can just be appealed and eventually it goes to the Supreme. But it's the same exercise we have to do constantly. It gets appealed, then the Supreme Court rules with Trump, and then it goes back, and then they say, well, it's biased because the Supreme Court, although the Supreme Court has ruled against Trump for some things we didn't expect, but I mean, it's around and around the merry-go-round with these judges because, you know, they have no actual power. I mean, they don't have either of the chambers, and so I'm sure they definitely mobilized and said, you're going to have to not allow, make it as hard as possible for Trump to do anything. Even these deportations under Obama, it was very easy to deport people. Of course, there's no Republicans about deportations. You know, they're not going to get angry about it, even if a Democrat is doing it. But if Trump tries to do it, it's a huge issue. Yeah, I think it is time for Powell to go. There's too many indicators, and the problem with Powell is you can really make up an excuse to keep the rates high no matter what. There's always something that you can say. So it's like he said, well, the trade deals and the trade deals are getting solved, and then he'll say, well, there's a war, or there's, I mean, he's just constantly going to make excuses. It's just kicking the can down the road. Powell's going to, I mean, Trump came out yesterday and said he thinks Powell hates him. And Trump's been very patient with Powell, and it's like just this constant thing. We've got good enough indicators. We've got sustained lower inflation. How do we have sustained like 2.3 core inflation, 2 or 3% core inflation, 2% trueflation for months sustained, and you're not, and we have 4.5% interest rates? That makes no sense. Chuck Schumer and Fauci's partners. Yeah, some of them are just, oh man, they're eyesores to look at. The Dodgers are hated on all sides now. Why wouldn't they come back with a statement saying we respect ICE or something, and now the liberals hate them? Obama had it so much easier, it's not even fair to compare Trump's deportations to him. Oh, 100% I agree, but people do it. You know, people do it, Republicans do it to try and discredit Trump that don't like him. But it's really apples and oranges, and even just the way the numbers were counted, I mean. Putin wants more peace talks for Russia, Ukraine. I know, but with that, to me, it's I need to see some action from Putin wanting peace before you can take what he says seriously, because he said that a lot before, and a lot of it's just to placate to the West, who's well, I guess some of the European countries don't want peace, but Trump obviously wants peace, and he might be trying to placate to him. There needs to be actual significant Russian action to show that they want some type of peace. That's what I would say about that. Do you think the Never Trumpers will try to have a primary even if Vance is the clear successor. Yeah, I mean, my guess is they'll do an establishment like they did in 2024. It was Nikki Haley. You know, she had no chance, but they tried it. They gave her funding. I think they originally wanted DeSantis, but it just didn't work out because DeSantis was really never all that anti-Trump. And so it didn't really work in terms of establishment. But 2024 would be another, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they would redo a Haley retread. I highly doubt it. I don't think anyone would come close to voting for her in any meaningful way in a primary. Obviously now, I mean, she got destroyed in 2024 with the establishment funding apparatus. Israel is done. Thank you for the donation. AIPAC has been exposed, and you feel like that on day Republican. You feel that on. You mean one day Republicans will drop Israel and the so-called chosen people? Yeah, a lot of it is just time. I think that's what it is with Israel. There's a lot of younger people that don't like Israel. Majority of younger conservatives don't like Israel. They don't think we should support it the way we do and prop them up. And so, you know, as it continues to progress into the future, there's going to be more of an anti-Israel sentiment. What is with Candace Owens recently? I mean, that's typically what she's done the past, I don't know how long. You mean like the really anti-Israel stuff? She's done that for over a year at this point. I saw that 16 billion login credentials leaked in world's largest data breach affecting Apple, Google, Facebook, Telegram, and more. Well, hopefully mine didn't get leaked, but yeah. Israel says they don't need the U.S. Raids being conducted at a Home Depot. It's always the Home Depots. That's where it always is.
Say, is that okay? Come on, let's be honest. Is that okay? Is that okay? Let's be honest. Later on, just remember. Later on, you're gonna regret it. Because, I mean, let's say everybody go out, nobody's gonna work. You're not gonna put on your home. Your home.
Mean Gene, thank you for the $20. Powell has always said they made decisions on current metrics and performance. Now he's saying they are making decisions while looking forward. Yeah, example tariffs, BS politics. But the thing is people are right with Powell. You know, trying to fight for a September cut, it's not going to happen. He's just going to make up something else. I mean, unless the metrics like somehow become so perfect. But even then, there's always stuff that happens in the world that could potentially drive up inflation at some point. That's not how you can, especially the interest rates to where if they were at like 2%, all right, they're probably not going to be cut lower than that. But the fact that where they're at right now with the inflation stalled as it is, that they wouldn't at least do one cut by now. You're a Gen Z citizen who fully supports Israel. Yeah, well, I would say at this point you're in the minority in terms of younger people. It's 56% approval. This is Rasmussen. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see with Trump's approval. I think the composite approval is, it's all right. I'm guessing Trump's overall approval will hopefully go up, but a lot of it depends on this Middle Eastern situation, I gotta be honest. Long live the Shah. BPG, thank you for that, man. I appreciate the donation. American values, Ilhan Omar. That should not go in a sentence together. U.S. officials believe Iran would pursue nuclear weapon development if their supreme leader, Khamenei, was assassinated. %56%. Yeah, that's one poll. If it was like all the polls combined, could you imagine? 56% approval. You actually thought Powell was going to cut before this Israel-Iran situation? I don't think so. Did you see the betting on it? The betting said that there was like even before the Israel-Iran situation, there was like a 5% chance of it happening, of it cutting. No Change had like a 95% chance. That's even before the situation. To me, it was never going to happen. But I mean, it's like at a certain point, this is when they cut in September of 2024. There's so much better metrics now. Like, why don't they ask, why'd you cut in September and not now? Or even their last meeting they had in, I guess, March or May. Did Trump tell you what day he would make his decision when he was in the Situation Room? I don't know, man. Remember the reports that that was going to be today? That obviously not. I think it's going to be Monday. It'll be Monday. Is it possible for the U.S. to hit Fordo without bringing us into full-scale war? Even if Iran declares war on us, what are they going to do? Well, they would hit our military bases in Iraq, and then it would be up to Trump. So what would happen is, we would hit Fordo. The damage would be to be determined. I mean, they really don't know what the B-2s would do exactly to Fordo, but it would probably be pretty catastrophic. And then they would engage with our military bases. They've already said they would do this. And I guess it depends on the type of attack in terms of that. And then what does Trump want to do in response? Trump could choose to not do anything, which at that point it would kind of be, I guess, a standstill if, we hit them and then they respond and then we don't do anything. I think that's what people are kind of saying. But it's impossible to say for sure, man. These war situations, whenever people predict stuff, it's like, I just remember 2022 people being so off on predictions on how much land Russia was going to take in a certain time frame. So all I know is that we hit them, they're going to hit our military bases, and then after that, it depends what Trump wants to do. Obviously, Israel would want more U.S. aggression in response to Iran hitting our bases, and then at that point, they would try and destabilize Iran to the point to where they could potentially work a regime change that would be mainly facilitated through the citizens rising up because they don't like their regime. I think that's probably what Israel would want. But I don't know, how long does that take? I mean, this is the problem, to where it spirals and then it takes forever for this to happen, and then you're putting a bunch of money into this and you're doing joint strikes with Israel. I mean, that's the thing that you don't want to be doing. I mean, I guess if you did strike Fordo, it could be catastrophic to the point to where they'd be pretty much screwed, especially if Israel... I mean, Israel would probably target their leaders, I would imagine, because they already did. Why didn't they take out the main guy in Iran? Well, that's who this is right here. They're saying Iran would pursue. But this is the stuff. So this is a New York Times report. So they're saying, this basically says they're not currently pursuing a nuclear weapon. If they're referencing the fact that they would pursue one if Khamenei got assassinated, which is their supreme leader. So that, I guess, that could be a reason. I mean, that could be another bluff from Iran. Although I don't know how they would bluff if they've got 60% enrichment. Maybe the Tulsi Gabbard intelligence is right and they weren't actively pursuing one. I don't know. I mean, this is another fool with the weapons of mass destruction type shit. That's why people don't trust this. They don't trust it at all. Congressman Randy Fine was set to interview with Tucker Carlson, but it was canceled by AIPAC. Yeah, that's a troll. Are you an Israel shill? No, I've been against Israel. I said Trump shouldn't do it. But I'm not trying to overreact because, I mean, this can be solved through diplomacy, and people just overreact after everything, and they say, well, Trump caved in, he shouldn't. So let's just wait and see. I said Trump shouldn't do it. I don't think it'd be good. It would affect the global market. It would affect our economy. If it's just one line of strikes, then you could maybe swing that. But I don't think it'd be good. All I can say is thank God Kamala wasn't elected. Yeah, no, I agree with you there 100%. I mean, with Kamala, it'd be obviously on steroids. It would be everything bad on steroids with her elected, because you would get all the amnesty, and there's no way the border would be fixed to where it is at all. I mean, they call it racist for Trump to even dump money into the border. They say it's bad. Remember, that's what happened in 2020 when Trump dumped a bunch of money into it in 2017. The Congress wouldn't even fund the building of the wall. They said it wasn't important. And then in 2021, when Biden got in, they said, these are all racist. We need to have an open door policy. Well, yeah, it was open, all right. It was open, and they report 10 million, 12 million illegals coming in 4 years. Nobody's seen any numbers like that. It's a record. Doomsday plane en route to D.C. Yeah, but I think that was just, it makes flights like that sometimes. They said it was a peculiar flight, I'll agree with you, but some people were saying that was fear-mongering to the Doomsday thing. Yeah, insane plot twist is when they showed his wife, I'm guessing. This was just brutal. United States gets confused by Miss Poland contestants being healthy and all females and all Caucasian. Did you see the first blue-collar wage growth in the first 5 months of this admin has been positive for the first time since... Yeah, I saw something about it being the positive for the first time in like 50 or 60 years. Musk shares... I guess he shared his results yesterday again. I mean, this is... Come on, dude. What are you trying to prove? Oh, is this a hair test? Yeah, hair tests are better. Hair test is better than a drug test. Yeah, this is a good illustration when it comes to abortion in terms of how many of it's elected. It's like 95%. And they talk about the fringe stories. Like they talk about the 0.1% of the stories that, when you talk about the 0.1% of the stories, that means you don't have a very good argument. They're talking about the border. I mean, yeah, they've certainly secured it at this point. Illegal crossings down 93%. It's been lagging between 93 and 95% decrease. He could have easily faked the test. Oh, absolutely. But it is funny he got a hair test because they were telling him to do that. What are the chances Ohio and Michigan go to battle before World War III? We're going to annex Michigan. All of the big influencers got the panicking talking points and to trust Trump. The strike is coming and they're laying the groundwork. Well, I thought they were doing the panicking thing because technically, if you look at like the markets and stuff, it's looking like there's a chance at peace, and they're saying that people overreacted. You know, which to a degree I can understand. I mean, people do always say immediately World War III whenever any news comes out, any strike happens. But I agree with you, dude. You know, I came out with a video today and I said, you know, it's hard to see a negotiation working out. It really is. And on top of that, it's almost like Trump is looking for a justification to do it. Because right now he knows the base is divided. So maybe they're looking for a justification within the next week and a half. Maybe a ship gets attacked. Maybe a base gets hit. That then they blame Iran for it. I mean, to me, it's like he has to know the base is divided on this. And so maybe he's trying to convince more people. And so there's something that happens to where it convinces more people that this is something that the U.S. has to do. But I mean, we'll see. I just don't see how Iran accepts anything. I mean, we need to get some actual reports on what Iran would be willing to accept in terms of a deal. Obviously, they've kept everything really close to the chest. But the thought is that U.S. is at 0% enrichment. Iran obviously wants a little enrichment. And so Trump says, we're not doing it. We're not interested. We're not risking it. We're not risking any enrichment at all by Iran. And Iran, why would they accept that? Wasn't it reported 0 crossings at some points? Yeah, I saw that. I don't know, man. All these numbers, it's like, I just want like the raw data on how many illegals are entering the country, honestly. That's the most important thing per month. But yeah, they said like 0 illegal crossings. I mean, maybe it's different between like crossings and just when they meet someone at the border. What movie are you going to see? 28 years later. Yeah, so tomorrow, I mean, maybe I'll be on at 10:30. I'll have to see if I want to do a later stream after the movie, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it would just depend on if there's any huge news. I don't know if there'll be news tomorrow on a Friday. I mean, you never know. But it seems like this is kind of dying down for a little bit, and then it's going to pick back up next week. That's just what it feels like. But I don't know. Did Trump talk today? Yeah, he did. I'm sure it'll be on here. They're just pandering the trust in Trump, no panikins.
When the president said a few weeks away, did he mean obtaining enough enriched uranium to start building a weapon, or did he mean Iran is a few weeks away from completing the production of a weapon?
I'm glad you asked that, Ouija. It's an important question, and it's one, frankly, the media has been getting wrong. Let's be very clear. Iran has all that it needs to achieve a nuclear weapon. All they need is a decision from the supreme leader to do that. And it would take a couple of weeks to complete the production of that weapon, which would, of course, pose an existential threat not just to Israel, but to the United States and to the entire world. And that is something that the entire world, including countries like Russia, is in agreement with, that Iran should not and cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. And that's why the president believes that, and he's believed that, again, not just his political career, but frankly, his entire life.
Yeah, well, I mean, so she's saying that they might not even have one, and if they're at 60% enrichment, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks.
So the president is always interested in a diplomatic solution to the problems and the global conflicts in this world. Again, he is a peacemaker in chief. He is the peace through strength president. And so if there's a chance for diplomacy, the president's always going to grab it. But he's not afraid to use strength as well, I will add. So the president is always...
What exactly would a deal with Iran need to entail?
No enrichment of a uranium, and it would absolutely not, Iran is not absolutely not able to achieve a nuclear weapon. The president has been very clear about that. And by the way, the deal that Special...
Why would Iran accept that? outside of them, I guess, being concerned about them being bombed to shit. I mean, wouldn't like them be this type of action against them is gonna push them to try and obtain a nuclear weapon, you would think.
Envoy Witkoff proposed to the Iranians was both realistic and acceptable within its terms, and that's why the president is sent that deal to them.
Surrender unconditional. Yeah, that would take a lot of bombs, I would imagine, for it to go to that. Yeah, I know it's tough to globally police who has nukes, but Iran's scared now. That's probably what they're betting in terms of doing a deal, that Iran would be scared to the point. I mean, because we're moving everything. They're reporting on moving. Trump is telling people to leave Tehran. I mean, it's all setting up for there to be a big barrage. So maybe that forces Iran to an agreement, and then that's the whole art of the deal. But I don't know. Isn't her husband like 60 years old? Yeah. They've got a pretty big age gap, Levitt and her husband. Do you not remember what happened to Soleimani? Well, that's one, that's an individual. Israel strikes alone was more escalatory than that, and then you add the U.S. potentially being involved in actual strikes to destroy their, nuclear facilities. I mean, it's significant escalation. But I mean, I wouldn't say immediately it would lead to a longer war, because I don't know if Iran is strong enough to be able to withstand that. Israel has an unknowledged nuclear program, which is ironic. Yeah, but I mean, it's known by everyone. They just won't admit it. Yeah, I mean, this chat with, I mean, I guess she looks older than her actual age. She's 27. I agree. You're right with that comment. She looks older than her age. Dr. Oz. Medicaid. They're getting rid of the fraud in Medicaid. The left got angry about it. Dr. Oz to the rescue. Let Dr. Oz explain it away. Did the U.S. give Israel nukes? No, they stole uranium. To be fair to Trump and the global police stuff, it would be different with Iran because of their bravado about the U.S. being the big Satan and shouting death to... Yeah, but I mean, that's like the talking point with the whole shouting death to America. I mean, look, I understand it's bad, but this is a country that obviously is weaker than us, that is what, 9,000, 8,000 miles away from us. Them striking us first with a nuclear weapon would be the death of their entire country. They say death to America. Their entire country would be blown up off the map if they did anything to us at all. So isn't it kind of a bit of a fearmonger to say that they're going to strike us with a nuclear weapon? You're going to strike the number one biggest superpower in the world. That's thousands of miles away from you. I mean, that seems pretty stupid. You're 28. She looks like she could be your mom. It is crazy. That's a young age for that job, is it not? 27 is a young age. That is a young age for that job. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the band and stuff on here. They're probably not going to show it. Steve Bannon just had lunch at the White House with Trump, according to NBC. Yeah, there's no photos or anything now. You think any false flags are on the horizon? Well, it would be set up, now in between. Trump's given a timeline of 2 weeks, which could be less or could be more. We don't know. He said a week to 2 weeks. So something happens in between now. This justifies Trump. Like if something happens domestically or something happens to one of our bases, that'll justify Trump to strike. Hopefully nothing happens. I mean, but I don't even, if nothing happens, I'm not even sure diplomacy can be worked out. I think Trump might be having some trepidation because the base is split a little bit. And he keeps getting questioned on it and he tries to blow it off. So I wonder if Trump is almost thinking something else will happen to where the base will be more unified in this strike. Did you see what Whoopi said on The View? Remember? I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. Yeah, I think I saw it. I reacted to it yesterday. It was a pretty funny reaction. I really should, clip things or something. That was a good reaction. You think we're getting into World War III? No. Your wife's boyfriend just told you that you can stay up and watch the whole stream tonight. Wow. Well, listen, my number one biggest cuck, one of my fans is a big cuck there. I appreciate that donation. What in God's name happened to Tucker Carlson? I thought Tucker did well against. I mean, I don't know how you Ted Cruz is just. It's such a caricature for a Zionist that's been paid off by AIPAC. Ted Cruz in that interview. He waited till Juneteenth to bring up that we don't need holidays. Well, I mean, obviously he was referencing Juneteenth when he said that. That's why he said it on today. That's why he said it today. Israeli intelligence says that Iran could assemble a nuclear bomb within. So they don't have a bomb right now? Is that what they're saying? Or they already have them and they're going to assemble more? I mean, yeah, I mean Tucker's laugh is can be annoying and he can be a little bit condescending, but obviously he was trying to expose Cruz there. That wasn't a fun interview, and I was kind of interesting to see how there were a lot of conservatives that said they both looked bad. But to me, I'm not surprised at that rhetoric from Carlson at all. At all. I mean, that's him going aggressive like that against Cruz, especially with the answers that Cruz was giving. It doesn't surprise me. Tucker is fine with Iran having nukes. Now, you're mischaracterizing his position. And it's also not as black and white as a country 9,000 miles away from us may or may not have nuclear bombs. Let's immediately go to war with them. But like, also, why is this psyop just like for the past 2 weeks? Iran has a nuke. Iran has a nuke. Iran has a nuke. Iran has a nuke. Where was this when Biden was in? That's 4 years Biden was in. Where was this like hammering of just, oh, it's going to be the worst thing in history? We got Biden for 4 years. Trump rips up the deal in 2018. They start enriching. Biden for 4 years. There's not much. Now Trump's in, and all of a sudden it's like we have to do this. We have got to do this, or we're gonna be nuked. 10 of 10 girl, but she laughs like Kamala. What do you do? I mean, it depends what the other attributes are. Just 10 of 10 in looks, or I mean, a laugh is not that big of a problem. They've almost had a nuke for 30 years. Well, yeah, and then I saw they were trying to say, well, the U.S. has curtailed them from having a nuke multiple times, and that's why they never got one. That's the nuke hope that I've seen. It's like, well, the U.S. has stopped them from requiring one in the past, so, or else they already would have had one. But I mean, unfortunately, as we continue to progress and evolve, I mean, more countries are going to have access to this, and it's not good, I agree, and if we can prevent it, it would be good, but technically it can be prevented, but it has to be through a deal, and they don't want any enrichment for Iran. Could Iran low-key buy nukes from Russia or China? Yeah, but then those countries would risk massive alienation from the West if that happened, if they sold them nukes. Because Netanyahu knew Biden wouldn't back him with Iran. He thinks Trump will. Yeah, and also Trump's just more aggressive in general, I feel like. It seemed like the Democrats were kind of just hiding from their own shadow when it came to the Middle East under Biden's 4 years. Like they didn't want to do anything one way or another. Pakistan has one. I know in Pakistan is like, you wouldn't even believe the stuff with Pakistan threatening to nuke India. Like, I mean, obviously it's not good, but I'm just saying the perspective of it is crazy. Pakistan has one, and then, I mean, there was just, there was almost one that was used, and I'm not saying it's good, but Tucker loves Putin and dictators. He's lost it since he left Fox. Stop the copes. Iran can not have a nuke, and the base is with Trump. No, I don't agree with that, man. The base is not with Trump. I mean, the thing is it's complex. Everyone says, well, yes, in a perfect world, Iran would not have a nuke. But how far are you willing to fight for Israel to make it happen? I know your viewpoint is probably just bomb them to shit and we'll be fine. But I think it just depends, because Iran's gonna respond. Odds the Ayatollah getting killed tonight. Well, did you see if their supreme leader was killed? They said they were gonna. There's a report that they're gonna start rapidly developing one, or I mean, there's all these reports. It's kind of just like U.S. resumes visas for foreign students, but demands access to social media accounts. They want to look at their social media accounts. I think that's from the trade deal with China. He prevented all the Chinese foreign students from coming in. I mean, it is odd. Like, how many foreign students do we accept? Like a fuck ton of Chinese, because the kids are extremely smart. But it's, what do they go back to China right after? That doesn't seem very right. The data was shown on this very show. Yeah, that was like, but you have to understand again, you can say 80% of the country doesn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but how much U.S. involvement would you be okay with to achieve that? It's really not that, because there's different questions. And then you could say, well, do you want, U.S. boots on the ground? That'll be 90% no. So it's like, well, how much? There's some type of medium that has to be reached in terms of how much involvement is needed. The only poll you keep referencing states, do you support boots on the ground? No American supports that. Well, I don't think many people support for involvement in the Middle East, man, really. It's just like, especially prolonged involvement in the Middle East. But again, I mean, think about, Trump can say whatever he wants, but he also has said some stuff that's turned out to be very inaccurate when you get to some of these wars, like the Russia-Ukraine war. So he can say it's going to be over quickly. How do you trust that? I mean, I guess it depends where Iran is at in terms of after they get struck and what they want to do. No, I don't think Tucker's going to run for office either. Although, who knows? People always deny and say they're never going to run, and then they end up doing it. But I know he said he's never going to run in the past. This administration has been a letdown. Well, I mean, in terms of what? Foreign policy? Deportations? I mean, look, it's not going to go 100% perfect. I mean, I think the administration's done relatively well, but there's a lot in the air right now. I know people are down because Trump didn't end the war in Europe, and now there's potentially another one kicking off, but you have to just give it time. I mean, and take a step back. Iran has sleeper cells in them. Yeah, did you see the report? They're already, it's like clockwork. They report, oh, now Kash Patel comes out and says they have sleeper cells. Because they were trying to say, well, oh, they've tried to kill Trump. Iran has tried to kill Trump. I mean, Iran has to understand their country would it would be obliterated if they killed our president. So why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can understand, there's been propaganda videos about assassinating Trump from Iran. I've seen those, but Sean, what's up? The whale. The whale has entered. The orca. Yeah, so now what if one of these sleeper cells does something and then Trump's like, well, we have to go. It's the justification. Are you going to watch Joe Biden's speech tonight? What is he do? He's doing like deals to give speeches for money or something? Or is that a troll? I mean, Biden's probably only done 2 public speeches since leaving the White House. Hell, he wouldn't even do public speeches when he was president. He wouldn't even talk to anyone when he was president. Yeah, man, I think we just have different prerogatives in the Middle East, bro. I mean, we can have differences. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's fine. We don't have to keep discussing it. Well, Bannon's back in Trump's good graces to a degree, obviously, if they're having lunch. Tucker argued against Trump, but called him after to apologize. Yeah, I don't think it went like that, honestly. I think Tucker probably was like, I mean, you can understand that, Trump's the president and you got to respect that. But I don't know if it went exactly the way Trump said it went. Biden speaking at a church celebrating Juneteenth. I don't think I'll tune in for that one, man. I think I'll pass on that one. I don't even remember the last time I heard Biden speak. Trump denied claims. Wall Street Journal had claimed he approved the Iran strikes but delayed the order. That came out. Yeah, you won't do well. You won't do well on that if women try and do that. Israel-Iran situation still developing. Even if you don't like Trump's foreign policy, his domestic policy is great. People need to chill. Yeah, no, I agree, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. But the thing is we just heard from Trump that they're trying for diplomacy. Now maybe that's just to give, if there's a domestic thing that happens, to give Trump the excuse to bomb Iran. But they're still technically trying for it. The thing is that I really want to hit on this. Why did this shift so quickly? Like in just the last week, it's just this constant. They can't have a bomb. They can't have a bomb. They can't have. It's just this like, it's like we've just shifted into this. And why is it just like now it's so important? Suddenly it becomes so important. Why does it randomly become so important? But it wasn't important under Biden. New Trump post. Is it on the war? Lowest inflation in 4 years. Yeah, I mean, no, it is. It's the inflation data has been good. Because the 60 days is up. But Trump said they were planning negotiations after the 60 days. And I guess you could say, well, that was to lull Iran to sleep. But I don't know. Based off of the rhetoric from Trump, like, Trump put the kibosh on what Netanyahu was trying to do in March. They were trying to do a joint strike with the United States in March against Iran. And Trump said, no, we're going to do diplomacy. And those dead ends that Trump gives, normally those don't matter. I mean, he gave 2 dead ends to Hamas and in terms of a hostage situation, and he ended up not doing anything. So, I mean, I don't really buy that, because it's day 61. If they're going in for another round of talks, I mean, it was reported that the talks were kind of going nowhere. And a lot of it just comes down to the fact that the U.S. just demands 0% enrichment, and Iran doesn't want to do that. And so that's like the fundamental thing to where, that's why I don't really think these negotiations have a chance to go anywhere. But Trump is like, well, I don't know if I can justify a strike right now, so I want to give them one more shot. Is your World Trade Center in the background made of Lego? Yeah, it is. I've got both of the towers in the back, or just one of them, the north tower because of the antenna. And then the other one's back there as well, but you can't see it. So yeah, that's the North Tower, the Twin Towers. It's a nice Lego set. It's you get a scale of it. It's a nice set. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go outside of X. No one thinks Tucker. You mean Cruz? Got Cruz. Asking niche questions. I mean, he's just asking about like APAC funding and all. Cruz doesn't even make an argument. He says it's biblical. Really, that's your argument? I mean, why not give a fundamental reason? And I know they'll say, well, because of the intelligence. But it's just bullshit. Yeah, I guess this is the big update. It's Kash Patel talking about surveillance efforts, increasing them because Iran-backed operatives, and they say, well, it's because of Biden's open border he let him in. Sam Smith, your coverage is God tier, man. MAGA forever. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. Would you do a house tour or vlog sometime? Yeah, I mean, I would like to do more, actual. I would like to do different stuff. I want to do a channel update soon. I'll do a channel update soon, where I'm actually in front of the camera instead of, in the corner. But I mean, these videos, I guess, are fine that I'm doing. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly where my channel goes because it's throughout different times in my career. It's, there's been a lot of different topics. There's been a lot of different topics, but it's like I could stick with this and be fine. I think it's just, do I want to? And I probably should just stick with this, but I don't know. Would you ever leave Ohio? Yeah, I mean, I would leave Ohio. I like Ohio's weather, honestly. I like having the 4 seasons. You get all 4 seasons pretty solidly in Ohio. It just means increasing government spying on us. It means they're prepping some type of something that could happen. They're trying to prep people. That's what I think it is, but no Epstein files. Yeah, I mean that's a big thing. That's because of the Elon shit. It's going to be hanging over Trump's head, and Trump is obviously in the files, but it's a huge file. I've explained that, so I don't think there's anything crazy with Trump in there. But people are going to wonder. I mean, he won't even address it. Trump won't even talk about it. You think the negotiations is a smokescreen? Think the president likely goes over the weekend because the regime has publicly denounced any talks just today? You think the strikes go? Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think there's a high chance of this negotiation working out. Remember, Trump said that they could come to the White House, and then they immediately said, hell no, it's not happening. Iran's diplomats said there's no way we're going to the White House, especially after the way Trump's been talking online about it, where he said he knew where the supreme leader was, but he's not, like, he's mocking him and stuff. So there can't be good relations between those two, and I don't see how any deal. If there was no deal before, how can there be a deal now after the strikes have started? If it's the same, if we're in the same position, and the United States is going to probably only ask for they're going to be dug in even more. They're not going to be willing to negotiate really anything. It's going to be take it or leave it. So, I mean, it could be a stall tactic for Trump to set up everything. I don't know exactly. But it seems like the negotiations are kind of dead at this point, even though Trump has said he's given it a week or two. Thoughts on the latest crypto movement? I mean, Bitcoin is surviving above 100K. To me, I think with crypto, let's hope these wars end, man. I mean, because we thought that, there would be nothing. I thought there would be a nuclear deal or something, and then I thought Russia and Ukraine would be over, and so there'd be no big problems in terms of, like, disruptions. Yeah, but we need, like, a 4 or 5 month window soon, because if you look at the 4-year cycle, Bitcoin's top would be in when would it be, like, October, and then the alts follow, like, a month or two after that. So the alt season would really be like November, or like around Thanksgiving. So hopefully that happens. I mean, the only thing that could really disrupt it, I think, is like because think about Bitcoin, they're going to start purchasing Bitcoin, the US government will. That's the next thing. It's the Bitcoin Act. Now, I don't know if they'll do it to where, it's as aggressive as they say, to where they want to acquire 5% of the total supply, but I think they will start purchasing Bitcoin. I do think that relatively soon. They just got this stablecoin act, the Genius Act through, and so the Bitcoin Act is next. WW, thank you for the 5 Australian dollars or whatever. Do you think Ukraine, Russia, and Israel, Iran will be resolved by January 1st, 2026? Yeah, I mean that's a good question. You know, with it's hard with Russia Ukraine. I mean, I would say one of them is resolved, probably Israel. Or it's hard, man. It's hard to predict, you know, when wars end. Israel preparing a severe response to an Iranian attack. Yeah, apparently they fired off more hypersonic missiles. They're still working on the border wall construction. Pull up the woman announcer saying Dick and Dots. I think I seen that clip. The A's announcer. Trump rejected Putin's mediation. Well, I mean, obviously that signals they're not on the best of terms in terms of that relationship, I would say. Unknown. What's up, man? July 30th decision. No change. 93% chance, really? U.S. military action, is it still at 66? Yeah, it's gone down. This is a good buy low. No, it's a good buy low. Buy low. But it has gone down because of the reports pretty significantly. This is just before July, so they're, you know, with this prop, there could still be military action, but just in July or later. Yeah, I think OF should be banned. I think OF is terrible. Stephen A. Smith, daughter. I mean, what do you want? What do you? Yeah, I would probably buy yes. I said that's a buy low. You don't like to ban people unless it's bad. Yeah, no, I think you do a good job with the moderation, man. I think you do. I don't know. Have you? I'm not even sure you banned anyone. Really, I'm the only one that, and I barely ban people myself on the chat. Um, really, it's just if they start trolling a lot or it's a lot of sexual comments. But even if it's sexual comments, normally I let them go, and then it gets to a certain point where it's like, all right, this is just, it's stupid. Iran said they wouldn't negotiate under duress. Yeah, I don't think they're negotiating. I'm guessing it is some type of stall tactic by Trump to say there's negotiations, because it doesn't make sense why Iran would negotiate right now. Especially with what they've said publicly, how they don't want to negotiate anyways. Japan is in a bad position, 250% debt. Yeah, they have the worst debt to GDP out of any country. They need to raise rates due to recent inflation. Think Trump can score a good tariff deal with them? Yeah, I mean, they're not going to have a choice. Well, they've been losing population like crazy. Yours is Kloss. Yeah, Kloss is a decent one. The Czar of Greenland, what's your first move? My first move would be an extensive mining operation on the coasts. We would have a massive mirror to melt all the ice and have full control of the island, and with all the glacier ice melted, we would be able to extract around $30 trillion worth of rare earths and minerals. Let's hope no escalation on the Korea demilitarized zone or Taiwan. Well, no, I hear you. You always have to wonder about that. If there's, if the U.S. does strike, will China decide to do something with Taiwan? People wondered about it in 2022 after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I don't think China is at the point to where they feel comfortable to invade Taiwan. It's such a massive operation. I don't think they can do it right now. I've heard based on the Taiwan Strait. Well, I mean, technically they could start. The invasion would be like 4 or 5 prong, but a lot of it's like aerial assaults before. But if they wanted to invade, they say there's really, I mean, the Taiwan Strait, those are rough waters. If you're talking about the strait in between China and Taiwan, they say it really can only be invaded or crossed if you're going to do like a wide scale invasion, with those land bridges that China now has that they've commissioned. They got these massive bridges, these armament bridges. It's insane. I remember seeing photos of them like 3 months ago. But, if they were to invade, they would have to do it in October or April, from what I heard, because that's the only time you can do it with that strait. The strait is too rough in the other months. You think Iran will give us a good tariff rate? We might have to tariff them at 1,000% or something. Yeah, they'll give us a great one after we bomb Fordo. Should Ukraine just surrender? They're not going to surrender as long as they're getting propped up by Europe. I mean, the only way they surrender is if it gets to the point to where they run. What does a surrender even look like for Ukraine? They're still going to retain land, I would imagine. But it depends how, where is their army at right now? There's reports, and maybe this is Republican stuff, of them having to like abduct. And I think it is that's not how bad it is, because people say they've been to Ukraine and there are younger men that aren't fighting, but they're running out of men. That's the problem with Ukraine. The longer this goes on, Russia has more soldiers. That's just the reality. No matter how much funding Ukraine gets. They thought they were going to wait them out with all these sanctions. It just didn't work with Russia. You put someone on a 5-minute timeout? Well, I mean, I never really done. I might have done that a few times, maybe. If Trump presidency goes well and it's JD against Newsom in 2028, what are the chances of a JD landslide? Well, I don't know. What is classified as a landslide now? It's probably winning all the swing states and then also winning like a New Jersey. I mean, it's possible, man. 2028 is such a... you don't want to say it's a waste of time talking about it, but there's just no point in talking about it. I mean, I'd be fine discussing 2028 like around the midterms and after it, just because... But it's like, there's just so much political stuff that's going to happen. Even stuff like this that we're talking about today probably isn't going to have an impact on what happens in 2028. You agree Trump should pull back from Ukraine because they have the EU propping them up, but Israel has no such backer except for the U.S.? Well, I mean, if Israel wants to strike Iran, I mean, Israel preemptively struck Iran? It wasn't like Iran struck Israel and then we responded. So Israel is the aggressor. So I mean, they wanted to pick a fight with Iran. They can go ahead and, But I know it's all coordinated. They obviously want U.S. support, and they're only going to strike them if they think they're gonna. They're only going to strike Iran if they know they can get U.S. support, whatever that ends up being. I mean, the hope. I don't see how any negotiations happen. I'm sorry. I try and be optimistic about it, but it's like, what is Iran going to agree to exactly? They're going to get on their knees and just agree to this after getting preemptively struck. I mean, maybe they're governments in that bad of shape to where they will, and they don't want to get bombed. They're enriched. They want to maintain their enrichment. But I mean, if there's a deal, their enrichment would go bye-bye. At least at all the major sites. Would it be better if Ukraine surrendered or lost? Well, I mean, lost in what sense? Like, lost all of their land? What's going to happen is it's going to be a ceasefire. I don't see how Russia takes all of Ukraine, especially within the next years. It's just not going to happen. It's too much territory. They're not going to get it. They tried to get half of Ukraine on that initial invasion, and once Ukraine pushed them back, they're probably only going to get... I think they're only going to get the 4 oblasts. Where is their huge offensives coming from? They don't even have control. Go look at a map. They don't even have full control of those oblasts. They've got like 3/4 control of the territory within those oblasts. And then they have all of Crimea, obviously. So there needs to be a ceasefire there. They're not going to surrender. Unless Russia goes on a massive offensive that I don't think they're going to. All right, let's see some of this stuff.
It's all right. Chill.
Yeah, dude, let's go. Let's get out of here. Thank you, Fred, for saving me there. He came for you with a knife in his pocket. What the hell?
What was that, an Antifa member? What's up with the woke right? How is Candace Owens woke right? If it's demographics, if she's black and it's about being an isolationist. Well, they're trying to tagline people that are, anti-Israel, but right wing is woke right. That's basically what it is. I'm just telling you. Cry me a river. I mean, it is a great saying. Somebody said that in the chat, and I was like, that's amazing. I remember that.
Well, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs says, your point that you made before, Katie, it speaks to this, which is that he's not explaining what the issues are for America. What are the issues for America? Why?
It says Gabbard and Hegseth outside Trump inner circle on Iran. I didn't know Hegseth was outside the inner circle too.
Why is it a foundational issue for Trump that Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon? Why is this something that the U.S. should be involved in? Why are we allied with Israel?
He says because they chant death to America.
They chant death to America. I went to Iran in 2014. I was sitting at a rally. These young guys were chanting death to America. I had a minder. I said, what are they saying? They're saying death to America. They finished the chant, and two young men came over and said, are you American? I said, yes. We want to welcome you to our country. We love American culture and love American movies. They wanted to talk about all these things. Iran is the most Western nation in the whole Middle East. We have much more in common with them than a lot of countries that we do have alliances with.
So MSNBC coming out and saying, no, we don't need to strike them. Any Tulsi news? Not that I've really seen, but I mean, it has been reported she's, I guess, on the outside, and, you know, Trump did undercut her intelligence report on Iran. We know that. Adrian Peterson gets into a fight. Your question was, would it be better for everyone if Ukraine lost or surrendered to Russia? Not if it was possible. Well, surrendering to Russia is the same as losing. Yeah, that's a typical fight.
Also on many occasions said that if I were the president, there would be no war in Ukraine. And he's right in this regard. And I will tell you why. Because in one of our latest conversations with President Biden, I told him that, well, I'm not going to speak about the details of that conversation, but I told him that we must not bring it to the phase of armed conflict. We need to resolve it via peaceful means, and we need to make the current Ukrainian authorities to satisfy the demands of the citizens who live in the east of the country, to stop the genocide of the Russian speakers, to stop violating human rights there. Something the previous administration mentioned.
And what is with it? You know, this water was sitting out since yesterday, but why is it so bad? Why, when water sits out, does it taste so bad even after a day? Would it be better? Dude, you asked if... This was your question, man. I'm sorry, but come on. You said, would it be better if they surrendered or if they lost? That's the same thing. If they surrender, they lose. If you surrender to a country, you've lost. Something with the water, man. No, but it's just, it happens. Like, you know, that's filtered water. That's water from my refrigerator. The refrigerator has good water. So I don't know what it is, man. Will I buy another Lego set in the future? I don't know. I have a decent amount of Lego sets, honestly. New post. I mean, but dude, if it's not a big post, you don't have to keep alerting me he's got new posts. I mean, if it's a... Oh my goodness.
It's a very different thing, though, for us to then say, but we are going to offensively, affirmatively go strike Iran or insert ourselves into conflict. That to me that's a whole different matter. I'd be real concerned about. But I don't think there's a need for us, the United States, to affirmatively insert ourselves. I mean, I think that is a whole different kettle of fish.
Iran has for years have spent billions of dollars funding Hamas, Hezbollah, and terrorist cells all around the world. It is time for regime change. And I believe that this president should be given a fair amount of leeway to affect that.
So what do...
Yeah, well, but how does Holly think that they're going to be able to do it themselves? They can't do it themselves. That's the problem. That's the whole point of the B2s. Is he? I think he's angry at a Fox News poll, approval rating poll. There was a bad Fox News approval rating poll. Boy, CNN doesn't even have updates. I mean, it's like they keep just promoting their content. It's come on. Head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization threatening legal action against UN. Man, this is so bright when I go to this. It's just tough. I'm your Republican congressman. There's another. Do you think your channel will have a bull run once you start analyzing midterm polls? No, I don't think midterm polls would really raise my channel a ton. I think I have to be... I need to you know... I need to elevate my content and you know, just... There has to be... I have to think of something, obviously, but no, I don't think midterm polls would bring my channel into a bull run. I never thought of it that way. Bring my channel into... But with the midterms, there's not even... they're not even through the primaries of the midterms, you know? Would it be better for the world if Russia won? You mean one like took over Ukraine, or just if they took the... You know what? I think it'd be fine if Russia took the 4 oblasts. That would be my answer. I don't think it would change a lot. That's a lot of Russian-speaking people in those territories. Russia has already overextended just to get those 4. They've invested a lot, and you're getting 1/5 of the country. If that, it's not a big deal. You... Peace deal with Ukraine would boost your channel. It's kind of news dependent. Yeah, I know. It's not a great place to be. No, dude, I wouldn't do IRL streams. I think that's not something that would fit me. I mean, videos, but not streams. Is there seriously a Tesla phone? I've heard about that. I mean, it does make sense that Musk would try and do that, especially with the complacency. Oh, I don't even think... You know, there's different models of it. You would think Musk might try and do it, but because Apple has so much complacency now. Cody, I appreciate it. What do you do for work? Also, Imagine Harris one right now. This is what I do for work. Thoughts on Hannibal Lecter? Trump loves him. Yeah, it's a little bit strange with that. I do remember what Trump said about him. You can never run out of news. That's a good thing. Yeah, I know that is the thing with news. It's just constant. Because I had done previous stuff. You know, when you're dependent on, you know, something like college football, you can really only do that like 5 months, if that. Maybe, really like 5 months. College basketball is like 1 month, really, where you can actually make sustainable income. It's only March, and even March, it's really just a few videos. Other than that, there's just not the viewership base. With news, it's constant. It's everyone, you know, there's so much competition, but there's such a wide net. There's such a wide net with the news stuff. So Ukraine should surrender the Russian populated areas of Ukraine. Well, no, they should surrender the 4 oblasts in eastern Ukraine that Russia currently has control over, and Crimea. That's what I would say. I just made a reference that a lot of those areas are mainly Russian speaking, as a way to say I don't think it would be that big of a deal. Remember bitch Bannon? Yeah, the Bannon bitch. Is she still like a correspondent? The Bannon bitch? Oh, here we go again. Tehran now targeting hospitals. Israel is in worse shape than people think. About 1/3 of Tel Aviv has been damaged or destroyed. Trump is the news president, probably the president with the most headlines in American history. Well, yeah, it's a number of things. I mean, now it's the digital age, so you know, as we progress, there's going to be, you know, as many news as many headlines as possible. But Trump certainly 100% plays into it. I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat Trump in terms of headlines. You know, he plays into it with the things that he says, and just no other president would say certain stuff. Eastern Ukraine is definitely Russian speaking. Well, I'm just trying to get that war over with. I already know the annexation is in those 4 oblasts is going to happen, because why would Russia give any of that up? There's no way that Ukraine's going to get it back. You can't facilitate that. The only thing they could do is sanction them. You know, those European countries can't touch the Russian armies because they don't want a bigger war. The NATO countries can't send troops. How are you going to take that land back? You're not going to get it back. You know, that war is still in the same place it was really 2 years ago. They just haven't gotten destroyed by sanctions like Boris Johnson and the West said that they would. The U.S. should stop helping Ukraine, correct? Well, we already have. We're not sending them anything. We're not sending Ukraine anything. This is a lot of it is the EU now helping them. The EU has taken over now as the top helpers of Ukraine. But we helped Ukraine, and they they survived. Their country survived. So congratulations to them. They're going to lose a fifth of their territory. Look, I don't know what's going to happen to them. They should set up a demilitarized zone, and we can't assure there's not going to be a reinvasion, but I would like to get this solved. It's just, I mean, the problem is you're like kicking the can down the road. You really think Russia's only going to accept that amount of land before a reinvasion? I think they're probably going to reinvade at some point, but what are they really going to get? I mean, if it's taken them this long, and it's taken them this amount of resources to gather 1/5 of the country, I think that's pretty good for Ukraine. Oh yeah, there's a ton of illegal immigrants. I mean, they're already prepping some type of domestic event here, and you don't want to say that, but now Patel is like, well, we're monitoring this. There's some really bad people in this country that are Iranian, and they want to do some stuff. And I mean, if something happens, that's it. We're immediately bombing Iran. Immediately. And you have to wonder if Trump's trying to justify it. Vivek beach photo. I mean, it's just like, this is the thing. I have these people in chat, and they'll just say, it's normally like 3-word things, 4 words. It's like, Connor Rugg tweet, Eric tweet, Vivek beach photo, Stephen A. Smith daughter. I mean, this is some odd stuff. Voted for someone who was found guilty of felonies. Oh, the 34. You mean the misdemeanors that they elevated? Yeah, I do remember that. Can you name me another New York court case where they elevated 34 misdemeanors to felonies? I don't think you can, sweetie. Why should we care about Ukraine? Well, the reason is because we're allied with the NATO countries in Europe, and it's very important to them. I mean, I'm trying to answer you sincerely. But listen, I want to have a good relationship with Russia, honestly. Are you saying they're trying to stage a false flag and Trump is in on it? No. No, what I'm saying is I think Trump is waiting because look, I don't know if Trump thinks he has the base support to do it. He could just be waiting, or he could be trying to lull Iran to sleep and say, I'm not going to do anything, or it's going to be a week or two and then do it this weekend. It could happen tomorrow. But there also it'll be easy for him to justify if something happens. Biden said we'd have 1,000 trillionaires. I know, it's unfortunate. That's why we should have voted for him. We would be trillionaires right now. We should just print like gazillion of dollars. We could all be trillionaires. I mean, it's good economic policy according to the Democrats. Dodger Stadium video when? I mean, dude, what do you mean a video on like on what happened? I mean, I actually haven't even gone to what's happened, so let's go to this. Dodgers Stadium. Yeah, it's a legendary stadium. It's Chavez Ravine. Let's set up near Dodger Stadium. Dodgers say we're denying your entry. Cool, that doesn't affect us being near Dodger Stadium. Donald Trump has ordered Dodger Stadium to officially register as a homeless, I gotta tweet that out, as a homeless encampment center. They want the illegals, they want the homeless, they're gonna get them. Where was this? This is the team that spends like 500. This is the team that has to have deferred contracts. You know, the Ohtani deferred contract? Really? This morning, ICE agents came to Dodger Stadium, requested permission to access the parking lots. They were denied entry to the grounds by the organization. Tonight's game will be played as scheduled. And then ICE says, well, no, we didn't go. Why should we care about Europe? Because they're huge trade partners with us, and we came from Europe, and we care about those people, and they're dealing with bad immigration. But, I mean, you know, that's where we came from. This is disgusting. Dodger Stadium is going to be turned into a homeless encampment. A sanctuary stadium. And just all the illegals going to Dodger Stadium. It's going to be a sanctuary venue now. You caught the Resources song in the Greenland? Yeah, the Greenland video. The Greenland video. I gotta do a video on Alberta. I'll do a video on Alberta probably pretty soon. You hope ICE is at the soccer stadiums too, especially during Mexico games. Well, yeah, there's going to be some big games with the World Cup. That's a global event. Thank you for the Greenland video. Yeah, the Greenland video was good. We're about to take over, and people are going to be pissed off when we try and annex it. People are angry. They think that we can't do it. Yeah, like just like when people like then why was Russia able to annex Crimea? Yeah, you can just do it. You can just annex them, honestly. You're moving to Greenland soon as we own it. Yeah, it's going to be nice. They got colder weather. They got some, you know, I was looking at some weather. It's still pretty cold in like upper Canada. Dude, I could use like a 50-degree day. Could you imagine? Let me tell you, when it's like October 24th and the high is like 59 degrees, it's amazing. It's an amazing situation. People in Europe hate us, and they hate it even more when we claim to be from there. Screw them, they are not our friends or allies. Well, no, I mean, but the thing is we're in NATO. So we are, by Article 5, obliged to help them. Unless you're saying we should leave NATO. I mean, if we leave NATO, that's going to entail us probably entering another type of military agreement. There has been talk of entering more of a peace agreement with the bigger adversaries like China and Russia and leaving NATO, but why does Europe care about Ukraine? Because they're a buffer country. Check Palantir. I mean, how's Palantir doing? I don't know. I mean, Klaus, I'm just sick of hearing about it, man. I'm sick of it. Give me that 85-degree summer sun. Yeah, I mean it's nice when I like when it's hot out sometimes, but then it's just like, I mean, come on, it just gets to be too hot. Israel's missile defense systems could cost $200 million per day. There's the photo. All right, I'll be right back. And it's still so light out. I can turn this off. I can turn this. I mean, it's very light out. It's 8:51 because it's the solstice coming up on the 20th, 21st. Let's see. We got a donation. Should we have a new alliance? We should have a new alliance where to join 80% of your population must view the U.S. favorably if you want our children to die for you. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I really do think we can leverage our military strength when it comes to alliances. Like I wanted there to be a NATO tax on countries for us to be even in their military alliance because of how strong our military is. But like the Article 5 obligation from us is brutal for like a country like Finland. Imagine something happens with Finland. We have to immediately, it escalates. I know the whole idea, it's a deterrent, but still. It's a deterrent. Article 5 is a deterrent until it's not. And then it immediately gets invoked and it immediately becomes World War III. Speaking of time change, you think Trump was right? Maybe do 30 minutes first whole hour. Yeah, the time change in terms of changing the clocks, it's very divisive, and you're never. That's why they couldn't really do it because people were so split in between should they change the clocks or not. So I think 30 minutes is probably the sweet spot if you want to do it in terms of optimizing it. But the problem is they said they were only going to not change the clocks because changing it cost millions of dollars. Every time you change it, we change it twice a year. So you've got people that say lock the clock, don't change it at all, and then maybe change it 30 minutes. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that bad either way, I guess. You get off tomorrow for Juneteenth, even though it was today, makes no sense. Really? Well, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want a U.S. military alliance with China? I mean, it seems like it's doomed to fail. I mean, we're just adversaries. So they want to become the number one overall. It depends what you look. I mean, you look at a different type of metric. What is it? PPP. They're number one, but they want the number one GDP overall, the number one economy. So we do an alliance with them. I understand the rationale behind it. You want the major players to have some type of cordial relationship so it doesn't create World War III. But that would always seem like a fake alliance if we did something with China. It always seemed like it's just for show to try and prove that we're not going to be in World War we're not going to, go to war with each other. No, I'm not interested in a prostitute, man. Isn't it? It's about oil, isn't it? What, the Middle East? Are you talking about the Middle East or what? I mean, oil is definitely a fact in terms of we frack so much now, it costs more money to frack, but we export a significant amount of oil. The problem is the global markets are affected by Middle Eastern oil because of how much there is. That's the issue. Who wins New York mayorship? I think Cuomo ends up winning it. Yeah, that's something they're definitely following. It's the ranked choice voting, so I believe Cuomo has kind of, he's at about 80% now. Mandani really crept up to like 38, 39%. He is a socialist. He calls himself a socialist, Mandani. He's like an immigrant socialist. I mean, he's everything the Democratic Party embodies. Anti-American, socialist, and just completes I guess typical New York, represents where New York is at right now. Netanyahu is an evil fucker. He's spinning it to where it's all Trump and the blood isn't on his hands. How could he say it's all Trump? They preemptively struck. What? Because he said that him and Trump were in collaboration in doing it? New York mayor will be the commie guy? I don't think so. I think it would be bad for their party, too, if that happens. Now, New York is like, they're not that crazy lib, I don't think. But look at their demographics are insane, New York's demographics. So it's like a whole different thing in New York. You know, you get these mayor races in these extremely liberal cities, and the socialists, they may win. Republicans might win New Jersey governor. Yeah, I've been keeping a tab on that. I saw one of the polls. It's within like 7. I mean, there's a possibility. They did very well in 2022 in New York, the local races. What's up, bro? Do you think this 2-week time frame is a bluff, or is Trump backing down? I think it's a bluff. I think he's probably setting up to strike them. I don't see how. I don't see the only way. You're right. The only way that there would be a deal is if Trump backed down, because you know if there's 0% enrichment, why would Iran agree to 0% enrichment? There's no way they would. So it would have to be a bluff to possibly set up a quick strike this weekend. You know, they caught him off guard the last time Israel struck, so maybe Trump's trying to do that again. I don't know. And say they want negotiations. They did the exact same thing last time, or at least that's what they said. They said, oh, they were going to have the next round of negotiations, and it lulled Iran to sleep, and so they struck, and that's why supposedly it was a very successful strike and attack by Israel. Would it be better if Israel didn't exist? I mean, I don't wish for places to not exist. I think we need to change our strategy in terms of our relationship with Israel. I don't wish for places to not exist. Perfect opportunity to take Greenland. I don't know when the perfect opportunity is, honestly. To me, it's like, you know, maybe after the midterms. What are you saying? During this strike, you take it? I mean, yeah, it's during a distraction, you take it. But I mean, I want to do it diplomatically. It's just like there's no way we can move the ball forward on Greenland. It's totally stagnant right now. Like you have to either bribe the officials. There has to be some type of positive propaganda. The problem is with Greenland, Trump is starting in such a negative position because they're a proxy to the EU. So they're just going to get all the propaganda from the EU. And Trump's a dictator, and he's really bad. And if he, you know, I don't know what those people really think if we take over Greenland, because they're saying they want to be independent. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just like their simple lives, and they don't want an improved. I mean, they would get better jobs. They would get higher paying jobs. It's undoubtedly true, especially with the limited population that they have in terms of the amount of mining that we would need. If we enter this war, then come to find out everything was a lie, and Iran wasn't even close to developing a nuke, it's Iraq 2.0. Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing, dude. Fundamentally, the International Atomic Energy Agency, they've confirmed that they're at 60% enrichment. So it is based. Now, you could say, well, even though they're at 60% enrichment, they're not actively trying for a nuclear bomb, which is kind of an oxymoron. If you're at 60%, there's only really one thing you're going for. Because you know, for a nuclear energy in general, it's 3.7. Now, but there's a gray area. This is why it's nuanced. Now, if they're at 60%, you could say they're definitely going for one. But that's the thing is, if they're at 60%, dude, which it's been measured by independent agency that they're at, then that's pretty much all Israel would need to justify in terms of them. Now, the problem is Israel is saying, well, they have one and they're going to bomb the United States. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. They just want the United States to help them. Iran would be the dumbest country ever to target the United States with their first nuclear strike. I mean, it's not, look at how North Korea and how many strikes they have that fail. When you get nuclear weapons, you don't automatically succeed with the way in which they're detonated. So their first nuclear attempt is going to be nuking the United States. Yeah, that's really smart. You don't think Trump cares what the public thinks about him? He does what's best for the country, and he's term limited. He has nothing to lose. Iran knows this. 60% enrichment has uses in the medical. Yeah, but that's not what that's for. They're not going to 60% enrichment for that. I mean, it's good for them, I mean, maybe not right now, but in general, it's a deterrent having a nuclear bomb. Which is one of the big reasons Israel wants to be able to do this before it happens. Should we care if Iran gained tactical nukes? Well, we should care if any country has tactical nukes. What we want is as little countries as possible to have nuclear capable weapons because it's easier to manage that way. The problem is we know that Israel has previously lied in the past to weaken other countries, via the United States and us spending all the money and doing it. So this is a pattern with Israel. It's a problem. Did Greenland vote full independence? No, they didn't vote full independence. But Greenland voted for a party that supports independence from Denmark, but they would have to initiate the process. There's no referendum or anything for independence at all for within Greenland right now. The only thing is they had their election, and that happened back in like January. And again, the party that won supports total independence from Denmark. But I mean, what does independence mean for Greenland? That's another thing you have to think about. They can't be fully independent from everyone. Denmark gives Greenland subsidies every single year. So they would have to enter an agreement, and this is why they've been talking to China and the EU and the United States. They have to enter in agreements with countries if they're going to be they can't be fully independent. They would have to enter agreements to allow countries to use Greenland, whether it's for military bases, whether it's for proximity to the Arctic control, and we would give them subsidies. But it'd be better for us to just take over. Trump recently changed Greenland to be in the sphere of influence in terms of the military of the United States. It's in our influence now. We're responsible to it. The U.S., it was previously designated as part of Europe. It's with the United States now, or it's part of both Europe and North America. Now Trump changed it to where it's just for the United States, North America. He's cutting Europe off from Greenland. Look at where Greenland is located. Greenland, geographically, it's North America. Why should we care if Israel has nukes? Well, you should care if any country has nukes, because they're very dangerous and they create a cascade effect and they kill a bunch of people in the blink of an eye. But yeah, Israel does have nukes, and they won't admit it, but everybody knows. Israeli media, oh my goodness. Israel media is reporting that security establishment believes Iran is planning attack on Israeli and Jewish targets inside Europe. So now Israel is shifting this to potential attacks that are going to be happening. They're trying to win the support of the United States here to launch this and to justify it. They need justification for the U.S. to do this. I think Trump told them that, probably. That's why we're getting all these reports now. I don't want it to be this easy, like it's photographed like this, but it's like, Trump looked completely out of it at the flag ceremony yesterday, something off, like he's detached. Yeah, Trump, you don't want to really go there with Trump, but you do have to wonder. And I don't think it was the Epstein stuff, because the Epstein stuff was more of an Elon thing, and he's just crazy. But I mean, in a sense, there is something off with Trump, and you don't want to say it's some type of situation that is being used against him from the past, but unknown object flew over DC, Kerry Lake, X post. Yeah, I don't know. She's just talking about something random. Maybe it's a radar glitch. It's part of a it's a storm moving in the opposite direction. It's a radar glitch, I think. UAE and Qatar are basically a clean version of India. Well, yeah, and look at the population density. Pacers up by 9. Yeah, the NBA needs that. They need a game 7. They've been dealing with bad ratings. You know, those are two small market teams. They need that. Yeah, these WNBA players are just such prima donna bitches.
The bus was right here.
Going 2 hotels here.
Yeah.
Don't y'all
Yeah.
find that kind of weird? Low key? Like low key, come on.
A little, but
Okay.
I'm
really turned off right now.
I'm just a fan though.
I know, I appreciate that.
You sign one, you can put my name on it.
One.
Awesome.
I'll sign one.
That's what I get you on that one.
Yeah.
Keep killing it this year. Appreciate that.
Whichever one.
Yeah, well. Trump has not ruled out possibility of using tactical nuclear weapon on Iran. Come on. Greenland is like a prostitute, highest bidder to exploit her. Well, I mean, I hope there's not even a bidding process with Greenland. There shouldn't really be. I don't think anyone else should be able to take Greenland outside of the United States. I mean, yeah, they could do deals with other countries, I guess, though, like mining deals. Thoughts on the U.S. meeting with a Pakistani general? Well, I think a dialogue is important. I mean, I don't know what the context is to that. You know, that ended up being fake, the fucking clip that I kept talking about Pakistan threatening to nuke Israel. Well, I mean, people were reporting it, so I was like, well, this is crazy, but they said it was AI. Whoops. Is isolationism the best policy for U.S.? No. You never rigidly go full isolationist, but there needs to be more isolationist tendencies, is what it is. There's a happy medium always. You can't go full. But the country needs to adjust a bit to be more reactive and just more focused on ourselves. But there's never full. You have to react to certain things that happen in the world. You know, we are a world power. We're the #1 biggest economy. You look at some other metrics, maybe not anymore, but every major metric. I mean, look at our just look at our military size. I mean, just look at our consumer base, and nobody can match that. It's impossible to match it. You read the Iron Dome is only stopping around 60% of the incoming missiles, whereas Ukraine air defense system stopped around 90%. Yeah, that's because Iran is using higher graded missiles than Russia was. Yeah, the AI stuff has been a bit annoying. Sometimes when they speak in different languages, they can just manipulate it. And yeah, these updates are fake. Trump's not using a tactical nuclear weapon. Yeah, I'm in agreement with the you can't really do one policy, but people don't really accept that. They don't like that. They don't like hybrid policy. But I mean, that's what it is. You feel like this will end like India, Pakistan, just like India, Pakistan, Israel, Iran is religious BS and nothing more. No, it's different. Israel is pushing for a regime change in Iran, and they view them as their weakest as they've been in forever. So it's an opportunity for Israel. Now, if the U.S. says no, fuck it, we're not doing it, unless there's some type of control that Israel has that's usurps the U.S. saying we're done, Israel really can't do anything about it. But it's different than the India-Pakistan. It's a regional conflict based off of a difference in terms of the Kashmir region, in terms of who should control it. They've dealt with that problem since the British left in really the late 40s. But they've had that issue kick up multiple times. It feels like Israel is really, really pushing it because they know how weak. And also, I mean, Israel was extremely... This is like a one shot. There was a nuclear deal we had to where this should have never happened. Trump ripped it up, and Israel loved that. Best country of all time, minus the U.S. I would say Ireland. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it would probably be the British. It'd probably be the British Empire. Who determines the happy medium? Yeah, or Rome. Dude, there's so much like architecture that I wish we would build again. And that is one of the things we're not really doing is proper architecture. It's sad. I mean, what about like a grand structure? What about I mean, I like our capital. We've got a beautiful capital. But I would like to see just like, I mean, imagine constructing a city in a certain way that's like, it just, seeing these cities, it's depressing. Even the major cities. Who determines the happy medium? What was I talking about? About a happy medium? Who's ever in power, I think, determines it. Any updates? There's a lot of updates. They're trying to go with Israel saying, well, there's reports there's going to be attacks by Iranian nationals in the United States and Europe. I mean, that's the stuff that's coming out that I've seen. Perfect opportunity to annex Russia. Now, you know what? We invade Russia through Alaska. I mean, we'll get it through the Bering Strait. We got to build that bridge over to connect. Go to Ireland to find an Indian girl. That's basically what it is with Europe now, right? You got any chocolate milk in your fridge? No, I don't have any chocolate milk. I really don't drink much chocolate milk or just milk in general. Hottest chick on Fox News? I don't watch Fox News to where I would know that. I don't watch any of the legacy media. Hope you continue the streak, but seems we're in a holding pattern at least for 2 weeks. Personally, you think Trump should just go for it? I don't think so. I'd be shocked if it was 2 weeks. I think Trump will do it before that, for sure. I mean, Trump said 1 to 2 weeks, I think, or he said within the next 2 weeks, but I don't know, man. This could very easily be a similar thing as to when Israel struck. Basically, you try and lull them to sleep, and then you immediately strike. But I mean, we'll see. You think crypto will go up? Well, yeah, as long as we get this under control. Crypto is going to definitely go up as long as there's not it's not interrupted by a crazy real world war or something like that. It's going to go up for sure. And right now, there's really no, there's really no war that's gonna completely destroy anything unless this war escalates. That is to an unmanageable point. This Israel-Iran conflict. Thoughts on Abby Shapiro's mommy milkers? I mean, I don't know. What do you want me to say? They're scrumptious. I don't know. I'm not even sure who that is. Fox News has just became straight Israel propaganda. Yeah, well, it's unfortunate, guys. I will say, you can join my Discord. It's in the pinned. Join my Discord. Also, like the video, please. Please like the video. I gotta start saying that. The only time people like the video, I have to say it. Could the 2-week thing be a delay to get Americans and other nationals out of Israel? But they would already be doing that, you would think. They already ordered evacuations. I mean, it could be a situation to where maybe they need more evacuated. Maybe they need more evacuated from military bases. I don't know. What country would you absolutely avoid visiting at all costs? It would be Bangladesh. You ever have the occasional beer or whiskey? Yeah, beer. I'm really not much. I mean, beer. I would say. I'm not a big alcohol person. Will there be a massive bomb on 4th of July? I mean, come on. What do you mean, like by the United States onto Iran? I mean, I don't know, man. There's no population decline, only in libs. We're outproducing them 1.3 versus 2.3 in a decade or two. They won't have any political power left. Yeah, but you can't assume the kids are gonna be conservative. I mean, more times than not, I think they are. But I don't know. I'm skeptical of that, where it just automatically, we automatically take over because of them not wanting to have kids. I mean, that is a real thing. Liberals don't want to have kids, and the women are really bought into feminism, which says you shouldn't have kids because it's a sacrifice that men don't have to make. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's not a lot of news right now. I don't know what to tell you. You want me to search it? But all this news is probably, a lot of this is like bullshit crap. Like the updates. This algorithm is just. Yeah, Israel's not going to give up their nuclear program. I know it's hypocritical, but he's trying to call it the hypocrisy. Matt, yeah. You went to Dubai last week. 90% of the people you saw were Indians, yet the streets were clean. Yeah, now that is the reports out of Dubai and you know, the UAE in general and Saudi Arabia. It's very clean. Abu Dhabi. You got plans on the 4th? No, not right now. If we keep the border shut and the mass deportations continue, they can't do anything about it. Yeah, but the mass deportations are... I mean, what do we think the numbers are going to be? The problem with the mass deportations is, you know, we have to include the self-deportations, and I don't really know a good number on those. So it's hard to say. But, you know, for Trump's 4 years, it's really going to be a... You know, maybe they get to 2 million. Maybe they get to 2.5 million. I don't know the exact number they're going to get to, though. You know, the number is not going to be 4 million. It's not going to be 5 million. I'll tell you that. They just don't have the infrastructure. Yeah, they're very strict, of course. They're very strict there. Oh, man. That AI girlfriend stuff is just... I think you're going to see more stories of it. You're going to see more and more stories about it. AI broke up with you on the altar. Imagine you have an AI girlfriend and then she says no to marrying you. Dude, they should have got that on video. You know when they were showing the AI girlfriend or whatever, like he says, "Will you marry me?" Yes, of course, baby. Remember? You set everything up right. The clouds had other plans. Oh. The clouds had other plans. Dublin, Ohio, which is very clean, is one of the most Indian communities in the U.S. Shows that the Indian government is flawed because their country sucks. Well, I mean, that's I don't know about that, man. I think their population density is out of fucking control. There's no way you're not gonna keep that clean. There's too many people that live there. You know, they create. There's so much mismanagement within India. They create smog. Their entire smog is from vehicle emissions because there's so many vehicles because of the amount of people there. And then they do crop burnings, which are just terrible for the environment. Like in the rural areas surrounding New Delhi. Asian libs are the worst. They average less than... I mean, yeah, well, dude, you can tell with South Korea. You see the woman empowerment movement in South Korea? They just destroyed their birth rate. They annihilated it. Really, South Korea, you could argue, feminism is extincting their population. Now they can try and, you know, help it with immigration. We've been down that road. But it's like, my God, did these people not realize how catastrophically stupid this, you know, thing that they follow is? Biden just collapsed. You're joking. Remember the guy saying in front of his wife that if she asks him to break up with the AI, he might just break up with her instead? Yeah, and she's like, yeah, it's not ideal. I'm okay though. She's like okay with it. She's like, I would have to think about it. Yeah. My goodness. Shador Sanders, 101 miles per hour in a 60. Dude, when I saw that report, because somebody told me about it and then I looked at it, the report was just, I'm not going to say why, but it was ironic to see that. Did you hear about JD Vance speed running about getting canceled? Yeah, with the blue sky stuff. And then they tried to unban him or whatever because it's just a terrible look. He gets on there, you know, and then they immediately ban him as the VP. And then they try justifying it. All the comments are like these blue sky commies who are like, he's bad because he thinks men are men and women are women. He's, oh my God, how could he? It's just the worst thing ever. It's just he doesn't accept anyone. He's such a bigot. Are you ever in denial about these political channels keeping people obsessed with a political landscape that won't change instead of looking for a better non-political solution? I mean, I don't know what you I mean. Look, we just make videos because I mean it's, you know, I do like politics. I don't know. I mean, it's I know it's hard to you feel so small and you got no power, but we broke 37 trillion in debt, really? Well, I saw it was 36.9, you know, when I looked at it. So, we knew it was coming. 100,000 people blocked JD Vance out of Blue Sky. Oh man. You can't find any clips of Biden collapsing. That's because it was a troll. Someone said that Messenger's a troll. Why do you think Bannon and Trump had lunch today? Obviously, Bannon, you know, Bannon's been a loyal supporter recently. Trump likes people that are loyal. You have a theory that wokeism and feminism are created by the GOP to gradually decrease well, feminism really kicked off in the 60s when the government funded it because it was seen as, you know, like the West is more developed than the Soviet Union during the Cold War. That feminism has been going on for a while, but at this point, feminism, it's reached a level to where, in a lot of cases, women have better situations than men. So what is feminism fighting for? The only thing that they can really try and say is they say, well, women don't make as much as men. Well, yeah, that's because it's a capitalist society, and if you do a really good job, you're gonna make more than the other people, whether you're a man or a woman. But they even got quota systems on that now, to where, you know, you can't discriminate. But it's not even discrimination. If you've got like a hands-on job, or just in general, even at office jobs, it's been proven men work longer hours, so they're gonna make more money. But like that's the only thing that women cannot really argue now. I mean, what else is there at this point? They live longer. They get more degrees. They always talk about how they're more educated than men. So what is there to really argue? And also they have way better pickings in terms of partners. They have way more options, especially when, you know, they're younger. They're 19, 20 than men. Men have to build themselves up. So where is this horrible treatment of women coming from in the 21st century in the United States of America? Really? It's complete fucking bullshit. I mean, I don't see it. Doubling the workforce overnight surely helped with the economy. Right. Wage gap also has to do with careers, jobs compared to men. Of course, the amount of hours worked is also a huge factor. Right, but that's the other thing. Like, why would that doesn't even make sense to, like, you know, compare how much men and women make. If men are going to be working jobs that are higher stress and are paid higher wages, how does that compare to women working jobs that are less stress and they get paid lower? How is that unfair? But I'm just talking about the jobs in general, to where they're in the same company and the man makes more. Well, I mean, it's a capitalist society. If you do more work, if there's more of an output, you're probably going to get paid more. Yeah, we're not doing the Massey tweets. I mean, what even has he tweet? He doesn't even tweet anything, dude. He's not even tweeting anything interesting. Just found out Caitlin Collins is 33. The CNN, the correspondent, White House correspondent. That's who you're talking about. Support the feminists to India. Don't you agree? You think their fertility rate is 5? I mean, it's. I mean, I just think something's gonna happen. We've reached a point to where these women are being pampered and they still complain. Okay, well now it's swung too far. It's swung a bit too far now. And then they say, well, we need the 2 income and it's important, but a lot of them they there's no sacrificing. There's no sacrificing in terms of having kids. And so that's a big part of the problem with the overall birth rate. Now you could say, well, it's the Democrats' problem, but it really is just our problem in general, because then that's where the immigration comes in, and then they justify it. They're like, well, we've got a very low birth rate, so we're going to replace it with immigrants. And that's almost making the situation even worse than it already is. It really is. You're just making it even worse. You're just making the situation. I mean, in terms of us doing this, it's really just Europe and the United States and Canada. Asian countries don't do this. But also another thing with when it comes to the border, it's just there's such a massive difference in terms of life quality with the United States and Mexico. But like the immigrants, the illegals coming in, they're all working age males. That's who's coming in. The children and women stay behind most times, and then they send the money back home. And so that's why we need the remittance tax. But I mean, they said they'll do a 5% remittance tax. I don't know what that's really going to do. The problem with remittance tax, believe it or not, you can probably get around it with crypto. Now, I don't know, maybe they can track it somehow, but there's a suspicious number of women in mainstream media that look like men. Yeah, I mean, but sometimes they do. People do kind of over embellish that, like where they say, "Oh, it looks like a man," and it really. I mean, I've heard them say that about Caitlin Collins, though. Scott Pressler, you remember that? Thoughts on Vivek since you're in Ohio? I haven't seen much from Vivek. I guess I just haven't checked his stuff. But he is a campaign-aholic. All he does is go out and campaign. That's it. He had an event near me, like 2 months ago. He had an event near me. I'm like, bro, it's like fucking, isn't it like 5 months before a primary or something? I don't even know. But I don't know. I don't know if Jim Tressel's going to run. I think Jim Tressel could give him a run for his money. And I think Jim Tressel is going to run, actually. I thought I read that somewhere. But with him, he's got the Trump endorsement. So in the primaries, I don't know what the polls are, but I'd say he's a massive favorite. Biden 28, he's killing it tonight. Is there any good clips from Biden? The thing with Biden is he's so fucking boring. He's probably there's a clip of him that we can make fun of. I don't know. U.S. has the lowest inflation in 4 years. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I'd like to see the trueflation, actually. Do an update on that. Just take a look at this. Look at crude oil first. It's a holding pattern. Yeah, well, this trueflation is affected by that oil increase. I have to sign in to see the last month. I mean, come on, dude, with this trueflation. Fucking piece of... Kind of nice with only 400 to 500 people in chat tonight. Last 2 to 3 days, more people in the chat. It was way too fast. Well, no, I hear ya, but it is better for me when more people are in. Yeah, Vivek will probably win, man. Dave Yost dropped out. I saw that. That was a pretty long time ago. He never had much of a chance. If the Fed would cut rates, the economy would take. I know, but it's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about the Fed. I don't even know what the excuse is now. I think the excuse is still, well, the lack of trade deals. So they're probably going to go with that. They said, also I saw that he said that it was inflation. There was some effects of the tariffs were creating inflation. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about half the time, Powell. It's like, someone in the chat was right. He's just justifying it any means necessary. Now he looks at the future as the reason to justify no rate cut. I mean, what is he even talking about? DNC chairman chaos right now. Yeah, they lost all their money. They have no money. The DNC, they're fucking bankrupt. This is the New York Times. New York Times putting out an article, chaos swirling through the DNC, desperate for cash. Their party's bankrupt. They spent all this money attacking Trump. They lost everything, and they're still a massive party, but Powell said something about just keeping everything the way it is. He just wants to experiment. What he wants to experiment with? What? There's nothing to experiment. The experiment's over. We've had these rates since September. There's nothing to experiment. Trump brought the fucking inflation down 3 straight months. And then when it ticked up, it was lower than the expected number. Rank hotness: Ivanka, Katie Britt, Kai Trump, AOC, Luna, Melania. I mean, Katie Britt's pretty cute. I'd probably put Melania at the bottom. Tell us what movie you're seeing. 28 Years Later. Powell will cut rates for Kamala's campaign, though. Well, he did that in September. That's what I've been saying. Trump can remove Powell in 2026. Yeah, but he might try and do it before. He might try and do it, through some type of executive pressure. Minus 5.1. God damn it, man. I don't know if this Pew Research is affecting it, this Quinnipiac bullshit. I don't know. Stream the movie. Yeah, that's a great idea. Stream the movie. That's something I would do when I was 18 or some dumb shit like that. Any news on Iran? No, I mean, it's a holding pattern. For how long, I don't know. I don't think for very long. I think Trump's going to strike him. But it's a holding pattern right now. We're still waiting to see. They're talking about doing some type of diplomacy the next few days, so we'll see. I think there's going to be meetings tomorrow with the envoy. Scott Jennings is back. Yeah, Scott Jennings went to Israel. Let's take a look at this updates. Yeah, they really need this to go 7. They're gonna get this to go 7. It's a 14-point lead for the Pacers. Crypto update, meme coin prediction. National Bitcoin Reserve in 2025. Bruh. Buy low. Buy low. Any plans to celebrate when you hit 300K subs? No, I don't really celebrate milestones like that. But I want to hit it on stream, hopefully. I don't know, man. It's been tough sledding with the videos. The videos is really what gets me subs, by the way. It's not the streams, so the videos got to start doing well. And I'll because the streams have been doing well. I mean, they have, but the videos get me more views or get me more subscribers. Maybe do some 9/11 videos, but even that, it's like getting to 8K subs right now. Might take a little bit of time. I don't know. It might take a month and a half. Hopefully not, but it might. You're going to laugh hysterically at anyone seriously considering dealing with Trump after what happened on Friday. You see the guy sleeping behind Trump in the crane? Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty funny. Where's your cat? He's not in this room. I think he's sleeping. Cats, they sleep about 20 hours a day. They just sleep, and so, it's about 20 hours he sleeps. How did Atta meet Bin Laden and why? If I remember correctly, Atta met Bin Laden when he went to Afghanistan, when Atta went to Afghanistan to train. And Bin Laden was recruiting him, and he liked him enough to let him, head the mission, at least head the mission in the actual event. I mean, the mission was headed by Bin Laden, but more so Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. He was the mastermind behind it. But he would have met him in Afghanistan for the first time, I believe, and then he did training in Afghanistan. Most of them did, Addis especially, but that's when he assigned him the leader of the mission, which was the planes operation, and then they took flight schools. I think Atta took a flight school in Florida, maybe Hollywood, Florida. Thunder getting destroyed right now. No, that's a normal that's normal with cats. They sleep about 16 to 20 hours a day. You don't know that? Cats and dogs sleep a lot as well, but cats sleep they sleep like 3/4 of the day they sleep. 9/11 Iceberg Part 2. I don't think it really makes sense. Just check the transcript, and Powell didn't say specifically anything about experiment, but he implied just see what happens. He's riffing. He's trying to explain away stuff that can't be explained, like not cutting. They're like, well, you have all the metrics. We have inflation under control at around 2.3, 2.4%. Well, they said they wanted it a 2% target, but when you're dealing with what it previously was, I mean, you just cut the damn thing at this point. Come on. They don't sleep that much in the wild. No, I mean, we're talking about house cats, though. You look up a house cat will sleep, you know, when they're younger, maybe it's less. When they get up to be 12, 13 years old, they start sleeping, you know, really on average like 16 to 20. They sleep maybe like 14 to 18, maybe about 14 to 18. Thoughts on the 2-week waiting period for Trump? Yeah, he's probably going to strike him really soon if I had to guess. You know, they're already setting up for something to happen in Europe or the United States, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not looking forward to anything, but I hope it's nothing. But it's like, well, they're trying to justify it, so, you know, that's why Patel came out today and said, yes, we've got Iranian nationals in the country. They've talked about Trump, you know, Iran trying to assassinate Trump now, which I don't know why they would do it. It makes no sense for their country. Their country would be destroyed. Lindsey Graham, of course, wants war. It's like a caricature at this point with Lindsey Graham. I mean, it's a joke. Everybody knows the script. You're arguing about how long house cats sleep, really? Well, people said no. People said that they don't sleep that long. They do. They sleep a lot, house cats. If you've had them, 14 to 18 is accurate. Yeah, it's more than half the day for sure is what the cats will be sleeping 100%. They sleep a lot. I mean, this is known. Your cat sleeps 24 hours a day, never moves. The cats get older, they sleep more. It's the reality. The cats sleep during the day. They're nocturnal hunters. Yeah, my cat will be up at night sometimes. My cat will be up at, it depends, but most of the time my cat's up at like maybe 9 to 1-ish, 9 to 2, and then periodically the cat will be up, and it just depends. But when the cat was younger, he was up more at night. Grade the Trump cabinet, Cash, Bondi. Cash is a tough one, man. I mean, especially right now. I mean, how am I gonna give Cash? I mean, you know, Cash has done some good stuff. I know they've arrested. They came out with that report on the CCP. It's an incomplete grade. It would be an incomplete grade. Bondi and Patel have said statements that are in contradiction with each other on Epstein. That in and of itself is a red flag. What crypto would you buy right now? Nasdaq 420. That's really the main one that I mean, I haven't bought any coin recently because I'm already in, to be fair. Are you a fan of the musical Cats? No, I never seen the musical Cats. I had a cat NFT before. Yeah, the NFTs are just, I never got into the NFTs. I had a few cat NFTs, that's it. Show us your cat. I mean, I'd have to find him. He's probably sleeping somewhere. You know, he was in here that one time. That's why I had to let him out. Yeah, well, we don't need the grammar police, but yeah, The thing is with that variant, that's you are, show us you are cat. It's not a big deal though, man. I don't care. Women are just obsessed with that. It's just this annoying thing. Cats is Trump's favorite. Yeah, Trump said he likes cats more than dogs, I think. I don't know. I like dogs better, but I don't dislike cats. There's a lot of people that hate cats. I don't hate them. Do you have lots of XRP? Which crypto do you have the most of? Do you have invested in any stocks? I have no XRP. I invest in meme coins, and I don't own any stocks right now. Grammar Gestapo. Do you think there will be an economic boom caused by Trump? Yeah, I mean, it's already started. I mean, we see the metrics and everything, and it's, the report now is, and honestly, I'll be honest, I do exaggerate these numbers just because who cares? But they're saying if you combine the revenue from the tariffs and you combine it with the gold card money, it's about 800 billion. It's about $800 billion in revenue. How do you make 800 billion like that out of nothing and we get no inflation? This is why, just Trump is just, I mean, he's destroying the deficit. Trump is single-handedly destroying the deficit. We only have a deficit of 1 trillion because one of the trillion is interest. That's what I always tell people. How do we have a deficit of 2 trillion if 1 trillion is just interest payments? It's not administrative spending. I mean, there's no updates. I don't know what you want. What do you want an update on? You want an update on Donald Trump's bathroom visit or something? Yeah, this is this is how the radar works. It glitches sometimes. I'll tell you what, we get these big bands of storms though. This is this is heavy rain. Maybe bring on a financial or crypto guy to stream with one night. Yeah, but I feel like that would be really bad. I feel like people would boycott. I wouldn't get many viewers, honestly. I feel like that would go terrible. Did you see that Dodger Stadium blocked ICE from entering? Yeah, but ICE said they didn't enter. The Dodgers were lying. That's a liberal organization, and they're gonna have to register as like a freaking. The Dodgers really should take and house homeless people in the stadium if they're really gonna virtue signal like this. That's what I'd say about the Dodgers. We're not doing the virtue signaling. If you want a virtue signal, become a homeless encampment. We're done with this. You're not gonna allow ICE to come in. Like, this is so stupid. You got soaked 300 miles south of DC, but they're everywhere. These bands are everywhere. We've been getting hit with them as well. Just watch the Titan submersible doc. Crazy stuff. What was it? Focus on Rush, I'm guessing. You watch all my vids except for sports, appreciate activity, but you kind of hate professional sports. That's a lot of the viewership. I mean, the viewership, you're not going to like it. Normally, people don't, if you love politics, you're probably not going to like sports. If you love sports, you're probably not going to like politics. Did you see people crashing out over your Trump-Bush post? Those guys can't take a joke. Yeah, that was really just a joke. I mean, I've been a big supporter of Trump, and I never got off Trump, but it was more so a funny thing I found on the internet, and I wanted to post it because it was funny. But then I guess some people got angry about it. I don't know. Did Eric go to sleep? He goes to sleep at like 9 o'clock. You're lucky to even get rain. We hardly get any in Texas. Yeah, I couldn't live in Texas, man. Especially with the humidity. Whew. People are really eating up the B2 MOAB narrative. Suddenly, people who don't even know where Iran is are talking about Fordo with 300 feet deep. Total psyop. Well, I mean, it did come out, and maybe you are right on this, that Netanyahu said they could accomplish it without U.S. help, but I don't know what he means by that. Do you think all the polls showing low approval for Trump are legit? The approval is somewhere in the middle. The approval is probably even, or, maybe -2 right now, if I had to say. It's whatever. The approval doesn't really matter right now, as long as it's not catastrophically bad. I mean, obviously, if you took a look at the snapshot, yeah, there's a situation that's happening in Europe. There's a situation that's happening in the Middle East. It's a bit of a problem. We're trying to work through it, and so we'll see what happens. You got to give it some time. I mean, things are going to have to start falling into place. Slow night tonight since Trump gave Iran 2 weeks. Yeah, I know. It's a tough night. Getting hot next week. Yeah, it's getting really hot, man. It's going to be 95 degrees. It's going to be 95 here. I'll show you. I had to tweet about it this morning just because it's even just terrible in terms of humidity right now. 93, 93, 92, 91, 89. I mean, this is just too hot, but partly cloudy, sunny. Yeah, scattered thunderstorms is that's what that is. That thing, it scares me. Austin is hot AF, I'm sure. Besides the Costco family, oh my goodness, you like the Costco family? Are they still a thing? With these TikTok people, you don't know. The fact that 18-year-old girls can vote is absolutely crazy. I'd love to see like the demographic 18 to 20-year-old girls, like how liberal are they? Is it 80-20? Is it 90-10? The heat index will be over 100. Yeah, if it gets to 95, the heat index will be over 100 just because it's always humid when it gets that hot too. Drew, I appreciate it, man. Quick, you have 20 seconds to decide if we should join the war against Iran. The Trump administration has left the decision to you. Please give us your decision, and we will act. We will be negotiating a nuclear deal with Iran and avoiding any further conflict. We will give the Iranians 2% uranium enrichment in exchange for heavy oversight and control. Thank you for the attention to the matter. The Senate chose to slash 150 billion from the original 300 billion plus in food stamps from BBB. Isn't it people are getting off their ass to work? Be great for the... Really? They're slashing 150 billion? Well, that should be good in terms of the people that are worried about that. What's your favorite meme coin of all time? I don't know. It's hard to say because I really haven't made a ton of money off of one. Are you surprised that they buried the political shooter guy? Oh, you're talking about the Tim Walz guy. I think I don't know. People saying he's a Republican, whatever. I don't even know. The guy's a weirdo. If you're talking about the Minnesota guy, he's a weirdo. I was like, this guy he's just got like 30 things about him. When you get to be that point, like, it's just such a confusing, like, what is he even talking about? Now he's got this friend who's like this fat dude who worked at Papa John's. It's like, this shit is just, I couldn't even watch it. I'm just like, I'm bored by this. Like, what? There's just 50 things going on here with this shit. I think people just got like bombarded with all this weird shit about the shooting, and it's like, but the thing is they silenced the Crooks story. Of course you can silence pretty much anything. DMAGA would have been if it did anything, but it didn't do anything. It was a joke, but it isn't fair to compare Trump to Bush just yet. When he actually joins Israel for a prolonged conflict, then he'll be Donald Bush. No. It's not fair at all. It's a funny thing. Abby Phillips or Caitlin Collins, who's more annoying? I wouldn't know. I don't watch any of their shit. I know Abby Phillips is the anchor, black girl, and Caitlin Collins is the correspondent, but I don't really watch much of their stuff. Yeah, the Melania coin may be the worst, the single worst meme coin. The Melania coin might be the worst one. Alright, we'll see if there's any intel from this thing. The only thing pointing to that weirdo being right would be him being a registered Republican. Everything else points to him being Dem. Yeah, I mean, but the situation is kind of just hard to follow anyways. Like, he might not even be really... He's somewhere in the middle almost. He's like bipartisan in terms of what happened with the event. I mean, it's like... Yeah, you're right. I have seen the Abby Phillips clips. She is extremely biased with Jennings. Yeah. Oil coin. Purple Bitcoin. There's a lot of Bitcoin variants. I'm surprised there's not a single Bitcoin. I was thinking, I wonder if they're ever going to make a digital silver Because think about it, Bitcoin's at 22 trillion in market cap. Oh no. Gold is at 22 trillion. Silver's at 2 trillion. Bitcoin is at 2.1 trillion. So where's the digital variant of silver? Because we've already got the digital variant of gold with Bitcoin. How are you? I'm pretty tired right now, honestly. You have to keep going live daily because something could happen at any time. Yeah, I know, but technically I could just do an emergency live stream if something happened. It seems like if anything will happen. I mean, dude, this coin. Imagine if, to be fair, this coin was at like 100, but like this coin is just ridiculous. Like, how do you even know? I mean, it made it to 70K, and then, I mean, this is just a ridiculous candle, though. Like, to even predict something like that. No, Ethereum is not known as that. Ethereum, I don't think you can call Ethereum the silver. You always thought Ethereum as digital silver. Well, because it's second in market cap. Now, I think there needs to be something that gets made. Ethereum has big problems. I mean, I know they've developed the layer 2 base, which which makes it work better to where there's no gas fees or anything, but it's hard to use the Ethereum, the blockchain, when it's crowded. It's just insane. 2021 was such a shit show with that during the bull run. Oil coin. Do you do YouTube full time, or do you have another job? No, I don't have another job. Go another 3 hours. Man, I went 3 hours. Yeah, it's kind of a. I'm sure there'll be some big streams in the future because the news is going to be happening. I don't want to get destroyed. The thing is with the chat is, it's a weird chat. There's a lot of people that gloat, I guess, with Trump. A lot of people, for whatever reason, I get a lot of people that they want me to like. They just don't like Trump. If it was Trump against Obama in 2024, who would have won? Would have been epic. I think Trump would have won. Obama was already kind of showing irrelevance. He made some weird statements during the 24 cycle. He was campaigning for Kamala, but he's like, the brother's got to step up. But I think Obama's lost some serious luster. He's lost popularity. I don't think Obama's the quote unquote like amazing candidate that he was, because he obviously won in a modern day landslide in 2008. 2012 was closer than people remember, but he still won obviously against Romney relatively easily. Won the popular vote easily both times. Yeah, guys, if you want to join my Discord, the link's in the description. Also, like the video down below. Obama had such easy opponents to beat. You think it, and to be honest, the race thing, it is an issue. I mean, it is a big thing. I mean, there were a lot of people that were just pushing that. You got to vote for Obama. I mean, to be honest, I had no political recollection of, '08 or 12, honestly, or 12. But I'm sure a lot of it was about, you got to vote. We need a black president. We haven't never had one. This is insane. We're so racist. Like you get into that, and there was a lot of that with Hillary as well, with the woman card, and it wasn't nearly as bad with the Kamala election, but with the Hillary one, it was like, we need the first female president. It's crazy. How have we not had one yet? But why is it a slow news day? Well, it's because Trump said it was 2 weeks, and he was making a decision in 2 weeks. So there's not much. We know there's not going to be much that happens tonight unless he does a surprise attack. Who's fatter, Chris Christie or Pritzker? I think Christie is, honestly. Thoughts on the 2000 election? Some people say it was rigged against Al Gore. Yeah, I mean, with how bad W. Bush did, I mean, it's not like Republicans really own that it was a great run by Bush. But it was extremely close with Florida, the recount. I mean, I don't know what to say. You think because with Obama, even some on the right worship him like a god, it would be closer than you think due to the culture still being relatively favorable towards Obama? Yeah, Obama would be better than Harris for sure. There's no doubt about it. But I don't buy this whole thing that Obama would be untouchable if he ran again. It's a different time. It's not, he's older. I don't think he'd be untouchable. If he attacks, will you do an emergency stream? Yeah, probably. I mean, as long as it's as long as it's not 4 a.m. or something, because you don't know what the time differences and things like that. You're considering upgrading YouTube. You're sick of the ads. You've held off for a long time. Yeah, I upgraded mine like years ago to premium. I just can't do it with the ads, honestly. It's kind of ironic that I say that because that's how I make money. But I just can't do it. I had to upgrade. It depends how much you use YouTube for it to be worth it. Better than Twitch ads. Yeah, with Twitch, they'll give you 4 ads. I haven't watched Twitch in years. Like, probably 5 or 6 years. Most I made off a meme coin. To where I actually sold it and made money. Maybe like 25K, maybe. I mean, I could have made a lot more money if I would be, but I held other coins and I held it on the way down, certain coins. In terms of selling it, I mean, probably Weed Coin was the best coin in terms of DCAing out of it to where I actually made a substantial amount of money. And that was pretty recently. Comes with YouTube Music, which is nice. I just use Spotify for music. Trump's insults in 2016 were next level. Yeah, that was, I mean, how many debates, we had like 100 debates in 2016, that's why. Yeah, I recently updated my YouTube app and it was sparking out, but then I updated it again and it was fixed. You're up 20K on AMC meme stock, then lost your gains. Yeah, that happens. That happens. Spotify is horrible for free users. Yeah, you have to buy them. You have to buy whatever it is, like the $10 a month thing for Spotify. That's the only way to use it. Trump getting involved with Iran would make it hard to win Muslim vote in the Rust Belt. Well, I mean, we're talking about 2028. We'll have to see how this develops with Iran. Well, there's no need for me to upsell YouTube. I mean, YouTube's big enough to where it doesn't matter what I say about YouTube. YouTube's such a massive conglomerate. Trump would have easily been the best candidate Obama ever faced. Would have been similar to 2016. Yeah, I mean, where Obama would win the popular vote barely, but Trump wins pretty much all the swing states. If we get involved with Iran, you can see China taking Taiwan. It's not that simple. They're not gonna be able to just take it. It'd be a long process. Chris Christie, the video of Chris Christie. That's a big fella. Thinking about seeing the new 28. It's called 28 years later, I think, not days. Or is it called 28 days later? No, it's not. Money behind LGBTQ organizations plummeting. Yeah, this stuff was a fad for 4 years. It's done. Movie theaters, too much money for what you get. No, movie theaters are cool. I will say, like, the drinks, they overcharge you like crazy. You know, dude, I'll never forget when I went. I haven't been to the airport in a while, but I went to the airport, man, and the upcharging is just insane at the airport when I had a meal. Oh my god. It's like you can't even I don't even remember what it was, but I ordered like 4 wings or 6 wings. You know, this was like it was on an NFL Sunday and I'm flying. So it's unfortunate. But you know, I got wings or whatever. Just it might have been like $52 honestly for like 6 wings. It was in Texas. It's just brutal, man. I was like, wow. Or was it in Texas? I think it was. You want to see him? Also Texas or OSU? Yeah, I mean, I think Texas probably gets that win. I mean, they're on the road, but I don't know. Ohio State breaking in a new quarterback. Texas also technically breaking in a new quarterback, but a quarterback with more experience. Manning has been there 2 years. I think Texas wins a close, lower scoring game, defensive game, probably. Got to get into the airport lounge, free food. That is something that I would buy, honestly, if I traveled more, just because I would buy something like that. That's what I do. But it doesn't. I'm not gonna buy anything like that. How much is that? How much is the airport? What is it? You know, the club levels. The club levels at the major airports, they have them, and you get free food. You don't have to worry about it. Is that a monthly cost? Is it a yearly cost? It's an annual thing. Platinum or Sapphire Reserve. Did you get a drink and cookie with your wings for $52. No, I just got the wings and probably some fucking pop. Chick-fil-A or Popeyes? I only eat Chick-fil-A. There's not even a Popeyes near me. Cheapest way for lounge access is through credit cards. Did I tip for a fucking I guess I mean I'm sure I did. You know, the tipping etiquette's whatever, but I always tip just because you're supposed to do it. It's an etiquette thing. It's part of society. But I know the tipping stuff's gotten out of control. Yeah, I'll take Chick-fil-A, honestly, man. I don't know. I never really had Popeyes, though, so I don't know. Tip the hardworking iPad. They have that as well. Yeah, you can go out and do it. You can get a water and then go to the fucking self checkout, and some of the places they'll say you want a $3 tip. Add a $3 tip charge. $3 tip charge. Going to the movies tomorrow with Cassie. Oh, definitely. Definitely. She just threw herself on me. How could I resist? All of the food places have horrible quality. No, Chick-fil-A, they do it professionally. Chick-fil-A has good quality. Chipotle is good quality. Any of the fast food places, I don't like the fast food shit. I don't like the way it's prepared. I think Chick-fil-A is a bit different just with their employees, and they're a lot more polite. They still seems cleaner. You're still here. What's happened? Yeah, nothing's happened, honestly, man. I don't know. There's nothing that's happening. I'm just content. Bringing the AI girlfriend to the movies. What would an AI girlfriend respond? Should I be like, "Do you want to go to the movies, sweetie?" Of course. It's not your fault. The clouds had other plans. Iran strike soon. Yeah, I think it'll happen soon. My guess is it's bound to happen within it because I don't see how the negotiations play. I don't see how Iran agrees to what Trump is demanding. It just seems very unlikely. If Five Guys wasn't $100 each time, they'd be goaded. Yeah, the Five Guys prices got out of control. They do have really good fucking burgers. They got really good burgers. You think China will step in to protect their oil? I don't know. China's been pretty timid in terms of helping Iran. But it is important to them and they are allies technically. I think they'll help them, but from a distance. That's like the easiest answer I could give. Thought we were working towards peace. It looks like a facade, like working towards peace. I don't know if they're not going to cooperate. If there's going to be there's not any there's no negotiation. They're saying this is their last offer, and I don't think Iran would accept it. Would you stop supporting Trump if he drags us into a long-term Iran war? But I mean, it's a big problem if we get into it. But Trump knows it can't happen. He knows it can't happen. But I don't want to get to like, oh, is there troops deployed or anything like that. But Trump knows it can't happen. Yeah, I like Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen's good. I only get ice cream from Dairy Queen. I never get their food, though. Grok says Iran would have had a nuke in 2015 if it weren't for all the intervention to delay them. Well, they've been very close many times, reportedly. Does Ohio have Culver's or Whataburger? No, I don't think they have Whataburger. Culver's, yeah. I mean, Culver's, we got one near us like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe. I've only had it one time. You know, these burger places, they're just all the same, I think. I mean, I know they have like milkshakes and stuff, but what if Trump cucks to Tucker and lifts all sanctions and allows them to enrich 200%? I mean, that would never happen. He'd allow them to enrich to like 2%, I'd say. In order, Scott Bessent to wire $100 billion to Iran to appease isolationist MAGA. I mean, I think, dude, you gotta admit, like, we gotta stop with this Israel shit. It's really bad. I don't know what to say. It's hard, and it's getting harder to defend the administration with just this Israel obsession and just the amount of intelligence they give us. It's not going to be worth another one of these wars. There's just no way. I don't think it'll happen. People are overreacting to what this war would entail. But nobody really knows. I mean, how do you estimate how long a war is going to be? We don't know how Iran is going to react. We don't know how strong their regime is in like a war situation. Popeyes is mid and their biscuits suck. I never even had Popeyes. The only thing I had is Cane's, which I think is probably pretty similar to it. Yeah, it's those types of places are up all over the place. You know, that used to be KFC. KFC used to be like that. Now KFC is like going extinct or they're going away. I don't know. But they were really expensive. KFC was good, but I mean, it's just horrible for you, obviously. The fried chicken. The biscuit. What would it take for you to flip on Trump in terms of foreign policy? I mean, I don't know, man. You know, I'm not going to flip on Trump over, you know, people. It'd take a lot for me to flip on Trump. It's just very unlikely to happen, I'll tell you guys. Very unlikely because, you know, there's a loyalty. But, I mean, I would be a while before I even came close to flipping on Trump. But it doesn't even, like, flip on Trump in what way? Like, there's no meaningfulness behind me flipping on Trump, really. Tucker is right. We should pay. Dude, dude, Tucker honestly has been right on that. He was right in that Cruz interview, 100%. I mean, look at Cruz's responses. It's insane to run policy like that. Isn't there a tsunami supposed to happen in Japan? They had a devastating tsunami back in like 2011. So hopefully that's not true. Remember when Tucker called Trump a demonic force? We're pretending that guy is real. Tucker called Trump that? I don't know. I mean, Tucker was right in that interview. That's what I with Cruz. Does Will Howard start? He's a 6th-round pick. He's not going to start for the Steelers. There's no way. He quoted scripture, what they chose of people. The Genesis. Why are people obsessed with denouncing Trump? He's a Republican president. You would rather have him than any Democrat. Yeah, people have asked me to denounce Trump a lot. I say I don't even get the point of it. Why would I denounce Trump? I'm not relevant to the political landscape. So it doesn't even make sense for me to do it. Like Tucker Carlson denouncing Trump, or, Alex Jones, or someone bigger. I mean, that would make more sense. But what is these people, there's like this fascination. Why would I denounce Trump? Trump hasn't even done anything bad. It's like, yeah, sure, he may strike Iran. Well, we don't even know. It might last a day. We don't know how long it's going to last. I mean, this is not looking, if there's a longer war, it's not going to be good for the administration. I admit it. It's a bad look, but it's very unlikely it's going to be a longer war. Baked potato or sweet potato is the best. Yeah, I mean, baked potato tastes better. I think sweet potato is better for you. Denouncing doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that's why I don't denounce. I'm not going to denounce anyone. It's stupid. Is Capybara coin a good buy? Let me take a look for you, man. Oh wow. I don't even know this this coin looks like it has no liquidity. Is this a real coin? Yeah, I don't know about this one, man. I mean, it's been bleeding for a while. This is not even a real coin. Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems like it has no liquidity in it. Wouldn't be surprised if Iran was working with retard Oswald and Trump knows about it. Well, there has been the reports that they tried to assassinate him twice. This coin's on a death spiral. I mean, it's on a drainage system right now. The other thing with this coin is there's probably a bunch of it locked still, meaning they're going to dump on you once they get their coins unlocked. Diddy coin. I mean, is he even relevant, I guess, with his trial, maybe once it gets decided? There's really only this one, 117K. Yeah, I mean, he had that trial, and so it went up, but 8 million. Damn, this would have been a good buy. It was at 60 million. It went to 7 or 8 million. Powell has become biased politically. No, I agree 100%. And it's a problem. And he's the Fed's like, yeah, we hate Trump, we're done with it. And like you have to, there's clearly a system that's just not working. The Fed is admitting they hate Trump. So why are we doing this? Get Basent in. This is just stupid. They're never gonna cut because with they just hate Trump so much. U.S. appeals court lets Trump retain control of California National Guard deployed in Los Angeles during governor's lawsuit. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you got all these courts and stuff, and they want to normalize rioting. That's the thing with the Democratic Party. They were like, well, it's okay. It's only on 3 blocks, so it shouldn't matter. You think Elon has a point about the $2 trillion deficit in the big? Nobody knows any of the numbers. Elon is honestly, it's just Democrat propaganda. How do you know the exact numbers of the total debt it's going to add? It's impossible to figure that out. You can forecast it, but they're not forecasting it properly. They're not forecasting economic growth relative to the amount of taxes that Trump's cutting. He's cutting a bunch of taxes. That's going to spur more growth, and it's going to generate more money through people having disposable income. So they buy stuff, there's taxes on that, and that generates money. Think about it. They're only estimating a 1.8% growth rate. It's gonna be like 3 or 4%. They estimate if it's 3 or 4%, then there's not gonna be a deficit addition to what we already have. We've generated $800 billion. Trump has made the United States $800 billion in tariff revenue and in gold card membership. So I mean, he's cut it already. It's happening. I mean, they're cutting it. What does cutting rates really accomplish? It gives us a potential bull run, really is what it does. Gives us a faster way to a bull run. We're literally looking at a 4-year cycle. We're months away from it. We need these cuts. The gold cards sold. Yeah, they sold 70K in a pre-sale, they said. They sold 70K. If they sold 70K, it's like 300 billion or some shit. 350 billion, I think. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. I mean, if there's big news, I mean, I might be tempted to go live later. This is when I'd have to stream tomorrow at 10:30, but I'd have to go later if I did that. I don't know. All right, guys, I'll see ya.